Going? What is going on with everybody? It is your boy Eric, aka Young Guy, coming to you live in the Orange Dungeon, giving it to you real raw rugged. And man, I'm so used to saying this is an interview. It's not an interview at all. This is something that me and him probably should have named by now, but we haven't. And I just thought about that. We do not have a name for this. I would
Yeah.
say A&E, but I'm pretty sure that's already trademarked by somebody, so can't call it that. We'll call it something. But it's essentially where me and Alphonse talk about um, just the just the year that was in 2023. A little bit of music, or a lot of music, a little bit of film stuff, maybe some wrestling stuff. Who knows? But just the year that was. So before we get into it, man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to do this. So thank you for having me on the YouTube. Because I love talking to you about not just music, just like what you're thinking about.
Of course. Hey, and I love Alphonse, man. A group of people that don't love Alphonse is KTT. You're very split on there, still to this day. Sean C, they hate Sean C. Like, I interviewed Sean C, they're like, don't post that shit on here. Like, they hate that nigga. You're a little bit split. Now, what you just found out about, you just dropped your favorite rap albums of the year. This
Yeah,
year, we're going to do it a little different. Last year, I think we did like our top 20 favorite albums for the list or
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, we did something
This
like that.
year, we're going to do our top 10 artists that defined 2023 for us.
Yeah, for
But,
our youth. Yeah,
yeah, but with that being said, you just dropped your favorite albums on Pitchfork, and boy oh boy, Reddit is hot right now. I just Googled it to find it, and nigga, this popped up before the actual article did. And it says Pitchfork rap columnist Alphonse Pierre favorite records of 2023, and then it's like a little sub thing. I don't use Reddit, so I don't know what it's called, but it's like a little subheading, and it says old head trigger warning. I don't know how this is an old head list because you have V, Sexy Red, Ken Carson. I think that's Veda, right? In this,
yeah.
I don't.
Maybe they're saying old heads are the ones that are going to be upset
Let's
about
see,
it.
let's see, let's see. Somebody said the top thing on here is damn. I've heard two of these, and I only listen to hip hop. All right, that's a good thing. I don't love it, to be honest, but I don't hate it. There you go. People getting riled up over his personal favorites will never not confuse me. That's crazy. Maybe I'm a dickhead, but I was hoping they were just about to bury you. They did that. All these people are definitely picking up
That,
for you.
that's funny that there's even a thread.
Oh, it has 300 responses. It's popping right now in here. Somebody said, it's Pitchfork, guys. Don't be befuddled. Sexy Red is here. I don't know what that means, but shout out to Sexy Red. Veda Supremacy.
People get mad. I mean, not to step on the list. I definitely got Sexy Red on my list.
Yeah.
But uh, why why do you think people get so like angry about Sexy Red? What is it? I mean, obviously, it's she's a woman that's being mad sexual, and that is like being mad loud and unfiltered. But from your perspective, what is it? Because she has to be maybe like the most polarizing rapper of the year.
So let me walk this slowly because I feel like only very recently have I seen very strong anti Sexy Red. When I mean very recently, I mean like a month or two. Because before that, I feel like everybody and their mom liked Ski Yee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel like people thought Pound Town was funny.
yeah,
So very recently have I seen that, and I think it's a couple things. I think one, I was just thinking about this today. Let's think about somebody who's fat, right? Like a fat guy. Fat guy's gonna get roasted for being fat because he's fat, and people just, oh, you're a fat nigga, blah 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 blah.
like Rod Wave jokes or some
Like
shit.
Rod Wave jokes, essentially. But a fat woman, there's going to be more vitriol towards those jokes because for whatever reason, like a fat nigga is like, yeah, this nigga fat, but he kind of cool. A fat woman is like this fat bitch, and it's like, damn, nigga, you gotta call her out a name. Like Lizzo,
Not,
I feel like people
no, yeah,
got,
people like hate like even when that report earlier
yeah,
this year came about Lizzo, like people were like happy about it. Like
vitriol.
they were almost like finally
Yeah.
something like latch onto and really hate Lizzo about. Like
Exactly. So I want to start there by saying I do think a lot of it has to be because she's a woman because it might be a nigga doing similar things and niggas might like say their remarks, but with since it's like a woman, as a black woman, people are very, very upset. So that's one. But two, I do think she's brought semi some of this onto her because I'm a Sexy Red fan. So let's
yeah,
get that out there. I think Sexy Red is hilarious. I think she makes fun music, but she almost started making like Boondocks caricature music, like her in the jail. She's like, "For my baby daddy, for my baby daddy," and it was just like, this feels like something Charleston White would make to be funny. Like, this doesn't feel like a real song, you know. So that's, I feel like a lot of people may be turned off by her because she got the pregnant stomach, she like twerking, and she just literally feels like a Boondocks caricature at this point. So I feel like that's why people get turned off.
The pregnant stomach is like something that definitely people are like, definitely makes people mad. To like, oh, she's already a mother, but you're about to be a mother,
Yeah.
and you're acting like this. You know, people with their finger wagging and all that shit. But I just see what you're saying with the music, like the deluxe edition of, was it Hood Hottest Princess, is not as good as like the original. There's some songs like that. There's a cool song with like Keith and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's something like, part of the appeal to me to Hood House Princess is that it's like this energy that you could almost only capture really once. It's almost like she's like, has listened to Gucci and Keith and 3 6 Mafia and all this stuff before, but there's almost like this, like, part of it is like she doesn't even know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And that like way of getting caught off guard by it is kind of part of the appeal too. And so there's definitely like a lane for her to like become a caricature, or to take like her whole persona too far. But then I feel like a lot of people want to make that into that, oh, now Hood Eyes Princess isn't a fire ass mixtape. Like that shit is, and it will be, even if, you know, the Sexy Red thing goes off the rails. And yeah, that's my take on it.
I think it's really only two sides that's really like hating her, and it's like one side of black people that are almost like feel like they're too righteous for her music type of thing or whatever, and it's like, look at what our black community is coming or becoming or whatever. Like, look at her. And it's funny because like there's a lot of rappers you can point at and be like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have made this nigga famous. Stacey Red, in my opinion, she's not that high on my list.
Who's the number one? Like, I mean, in 2018 or 20, I feel like it was 2018. One of the first articles I wrote at Pitchfork was about like Blueface being fired, and bro, that is like, and I stand by it. Like that like first like 6 months of Blueface, like when he was dropping like all that Deadlokes and all that stuff. You know, those songs went like right like Tatiana, like right before then. Those songs went crazy, and then like quickly it went completely like off. like that's like one of the worst case scenarios for where things could go, and that's probably somebody that are like, damn, can't believe we made him famous.
I thought you were about to out me, but I'll out myself. Remember I told you I couldn't stop listening to his verse on that Too Rare song?
Oh yeah,
verse is amazing. I can't lie, bro. Verse is amazing. That shit made me want to start dancing.
That's crazy. That's like a 2022 Blueface verse.
Freaking crazy verse. But to answer your question, I would say probably the whole Chicago. I would say the whole Chicago, like the Keith era Chicago. Love Keith in them, but that time period, bro, that did some irreversible damage to black people. Cause I don't care what nobody say. At least I'm gonna say for Jacksonville, niggas wasn't being extra like disrespectful. Like, I'm smoking on a dead nigga, this dead nigga that. Chicago showed niggas like, hey y'all boys, y'all can disrespect dead niggas. Niggas ain't even know that. I don't think niggas knew that was like a thing you could do. Niggas like, we can disrespect dead niggas. And now you got like crazy type of drill music. So I would say that.
Is it fair to blame that on Chicago? Because you could go back and you go back to like Jeezy Gucci beef, you know, which is probably like a huge influence to Chicago drill, just like that whole like the way they went back and forth with each other, you know, and they were saying crazy stuff too.
So very crazy. And you know, when Brett talking about dissing the nigga that tried to shoot him or whatever, only reason I would differentiate the two, because everybody kind of knew that story and it was like, oh, this is like a self-defense story. Like, niggas tried to kill him, he killed him or whatever, and like niggas literally trying to take his life. I'm not saying niggas in Chicago not in gang wars or whatever, but they just like them niggas was dissing dead niggas they don't even know. You know what I'm saying? They had niggas in New York talking about, well, I'm smoking Tuka. And nigga ain't even know that was like a, you know what I'm saying, an actual like dead kid or whatever. So it's just like them niggas did irreversible damage to Jacksonville. Cause I'll never forget once that shit happened, but Jacksonville turned up. Niggas became niggas trying to see who was the most like savage nigga. Niggas was calling each other demon jits. Like, well, I'm a demon jit. Oh, but y'all niggas need prayer. But I'm gonna pray for y'all niggas. It was some crazy shit going on. So I would say
Yeah.
just that influence. I look at that and I'll be like, man, this some demonic, bro. Nigga, you remember Jacksonville drill music? That shit up with that, hey.
Yeah, yeah. What was it like that? Young E Ace and
All of that,
all
boy. You
that.
know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I haven't heard any of it. Okay, okay. I was gonna ask you anyway. Give me the Jacksonville
There's none.
temperature check.
There's
Like
none.
what
There's none.
what is going on?
Nothing.
I know Florida is a big place, and I feel like last year we were talking about Florida rap a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and this year I haven't listened to as much. I know you're still a Golden Boy head. I know. I know. There's artists I like from there. I mean, I know like Tyler was on every that he hasn't turned down a feature all year. Like that bro. His bank account better be crazy. But I know it's like Shimmy and like Southern Florida. But I know Jacksonville is like his own place, and I really haven't heard like much from there this year.
Jacksonville is not a musically inclined city. Let's just say it's just point blank period. I'm not saying there's no good rappers that ever came from Jacksonville, but as a city, it's not a musically inclined city. It's not a place where niggas are good.
Who's like the first big Jacksonville rapper you can remember?
Probably the niggas who made You ever seen Space Jam?
Yeah,
The hop up on a choo choo. That's Jacksonville niggas.
that's
Or
Jacksonville.
60 you got 69 boys freaking do the Tootsie Roll Tootsie them
Oh
Jacksonville.
yeah.
So that those are like the first Jackson rappers to ever blow up.
I didn't even know they were Jacksonville. I feel like Florida be trying to claim them as a whole.
No, that's Jacksonville. Them and then like in the 2000s, I can't say that we had a Jacksonville rapper that really blew up. Damn near Lil Duval was making songs in the 2000s that kind of made like internet like viralness, but other than that in the 2000s, I can't say that we had a big rapper. You know Mace from here.
Really?
Yeah, Mace don't like to claim Jacksonville, but like a bunch of his family still stay down here. He born in Jacksonville.
I did not know that because Mace is like I'm
Harlem
Harlem.
World, yeah, but nah, he a Jacksonville baby, so yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
you're right.
and in the 2010s, I mean, you kind of like seen like the Young and Aces and the Fulios. That's when they started to make the pop. But yeah, man, we're just not a talented city when it comes to music, and that's not me saying there's no talented rappers ever to come because there are some good rappers, but for the most part, yeah, niggas suck,
Do you think it's because of like the how insular it could be?
bro. Just niggas. I just don't think Jacksonville. I don't think God gave the music ability to niggas down here, bro. That's really all I think it is because niggas can kill a nigga. They can kill somebody real good for sure. Making music though, that's you know what I'm saying. Jacksonville people, because if you listen to our music, it's different from the rest of Florida. Everybody else from Florida talking about getting money, being cool. Niggas in Jacksonville want to talk about how gangster they are and how much niggas they done killed. That's what Jacksonville
Yeah.
music is.
That's true. That's probably why. Like even I like drill music. I like drill music from Chicago. I like drill music from New York. But the Jacksonville stuff um, never sounded good to me. To be straight up, I've always liked the other Florida rap, like just like I'm cool and I'm chilling. I mean that's
Yeah.
why I like Tyler. Even like in like that West Palm Beach, they're on like that kind of drill stuff, but they're also like mixing it with like some other like they're still like being kind of cool, like the Mario Montana and Reese Sosa.
Mario Montana raps way better than like 90% of Jackson rappers. Like he's very good. So I agree with you. And like, yeah, everybody else from Jacksonville. Cause nigga Golden Boy told me in an interview one time. He said the first time he met somebody from Jacksonville, he was in a club and a dude in Jacksonville like killed somebody in the middle of the club. So that's just a great representation of Jacksonville. Like that's what they're more worried about that. Like music making, it's not really that city for that. Like even like some like New York. I don't know if how much New York rap we've ever talked about, but like I think New York drill music is probably like I would say like what were we 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah,
That has to be like top 7 like worst scenes ever in hip hop in states.
I, I, I know you hate it.
It sucks so bad, bro. It all sounds the same. It's just not good, bro.
is that what you hate about it the most? Just like the sound of it?
And them niggas aren't rapping that good either. It's like Pop Smoke was the one. He was the one that I'm like, this is what it like. This is like peak drill. Like this is what it's supposed to sound like. Everybody else is just like, you ever seen a video where Danny Brown said them niggas they be sound like Batman?
Oh yeah. Nah, then you won't like any of like the drill that came in 2023. You might like some of the girls though. Some of the women like Kenzo B. She's nice.
Connie
like,
Diamond's pretty straight. You know her?
No, yeah, she's cool and like if you come to New York and turn on the radio, you're gonna hear like Lola Brooke or whatever. I think Lola Brooke's fine, but I think Kenzo B's nice. But yeah, a lot of like the big like guys are now like right now probably like the Sweepers like J Hound, the Go, and like 41 like Kyle Rich, Jen Carter, Tata, probably like the hottest drill rappers right now, and they all got like that like.
Yeah, but my order. My shooter.
Yeah, but they're making some cool stuff right now because all that Jersey club influence has come into it, and so it's kind of turned the drill music into party music, which is, I mean, drill has always been played at parties, maybe not the type of party you want to go to, but they've always been played at parties. But like the Jersey club infusion has made it like straight up like feel good party music, even if the lyrics aren't always like that, which is I think cool wrinkle into New York drill.
Can I tell you who I think what region is saving hip hop right now? And I'm not being funny when I say this. I'm being so dead serious when I'm about to say. Philadelphia is restoring the feeling.
Okay. Like that. Which part of Philadelphia are you talking about? Like the Philly drill stuff, or like the Philly
the dancing,
like
the dancing niggas.
The dancing.
Them niggas restoring feeling. They restoring, bro. This is the essence of hip hop, bro. Every time I see them niggas, I didn't understand it at first because when I first seen Too Rare, it was the Double XL freestyle. That was the first thing I heard. I was like, this nigga might be the worst rapper of all time. Then I really started listening to everything. I'm like, no, we need Too Rare. This nigga Too Rare is restoring the hip hop feeling right now. I love this.
You were like a Too Rare stan.
I might be a Too Rare stan, bro. What's some other niggas name? The Philly Goats. I like what they be doing. Like
Philly Goats.
It's fun. It's fun.
There was. Did you hear Too Humpy anthem this year?
Too Humpy. That's Too Rare, ain't it?
Yeah, that's Too Rare and like 5 other guys.
I was about to say you know what, you know that the remix, that's the Blueface song. That's that song.
Who else I like from the scene? Like they got like this guy Brock who was also in Too Humpy. Too Humpy broke up, but
oh, is Too Humpy not a song?
I mean, it is a song. It's like Too Humpy anthem, but they're also like a group. It was like 5, 6, 7. It was just mad dudes that were, and they like broke up. But they had some cool rappers in there. And there's a song by Brock called "These Girls Freestyle," I want to say, or "These Chicks Freestyle." It's kind of hard. Brill Red Handed. He samples that Shaggy. What's the big Shaggy song?
It wasn't me.
Yeah. Has a sample of that, kind of flips into like this like Philly club song. So they got some cool shit.
I got a quick question before we move on. What's the one light skinned nigga? I want to say he may be from New York. He like a kid. He like probably like 14, 15, curly hair.
Didi Osama?
No. He make
Sugar Hill D-Dot?
No, it's not none of them niggas. It's not none of them. He don't make drill music. It's not none of them niggas. He a light skinned nigga, and dang, he made this one. It was like a video of him I seen. He was on stage dancing, and that nigga was just hitting it. And I want to say he from up there. I think he is. And somebody had asked me like, "Hey, you know about him?" And I was like, "I had just seen a video of this nigga like." Oh no, he was doing a cookie dance. He was doing a little bit cookie dance. That's what he was doing.
Oh, Xavier So Based?
Yes, is he from up there?
Yeah, he's from Upper West Side.
Got you. I've only heard a little bit of him, but I wasn't offended by it at all. I wasn't offended.
Yeah, we about to get. We stepping on my list right now because that's what I was about to do.
Really?
Number 1 right there.
Really? Okay, so let's get off of specific artists because I want to say the list for last. I want to end it off with that, and just get a more broader question on what is your thoughts and opinions on just the year that was 2023 for rap music.
Are you talking about like the direction the music was going in, the
Yeah,
mainstream, like.
just in general, like the year's almost over. Like, what did you feel about the rap music? Like, how did you feel about rap? This is 50th year of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Did it feel like a big momentous year for hip hop?
Um, I don't feel like a big momentous year of hip hop, especially since I feel like that 50th anniversary shit is kind of bullshit. It felt like,
Explain.
I mean, to me, it just felt like something, just like a heavily corporatized way to, you know, monetize rap for all these companies that wanted to, like, we could get Snoop Dogg to come on stage and come here, and
Yeah.
um, it didn't feel like a genuine celebration to me. And so, I mean, that already puts like the year in like a weird place because you have that in the background and people trying to like find their way to shape the narrative into like, oh, this is important because this happened this year. But I mean, as a whole, I mean, I know I enjoyed listening to rap this year, and a lot of the rap I liked this year came from like, specific scenes and sounds. Whether, I mean, you mentioned Philly, um, where they had a lot of shit going on. You had like the really bright club stuff, or like the really like dark drill leaning things. I mean, I wrote a piece this year in Milwaukee. That's one of my favorite scenes. Detroit, Flint. I'm from New York, so I always like things going on in New York. And so, I mean, that's how I look at rap and so in that way, rap is always exciting to me because the things I find most interesting are finding music from different cities and tracing it back into things that came before it to figure out why this music sounds that way. On like a higher level on the mainstream, like radio or however people judge it these days, it was way less interesting to me. That's why someone like Sexy Red I thought was cool and extremely fun because it was a type of songs that felt like everybody knew, but it was also like shit that I liked too and I thought was fun. And it wasn't just like we had like the Travis album, we had the Drake album, we had maybe another polar. I'm not sure if it was just polarizing and just in my world, just polarizing in general. It was really like the year of the Little Yachty PR campaign, and so between that album, the Concrete Boys taking off, I know they're about to probably drop like some sort of group album, which I'm excited for. I think they're cool as a group. So yeah, we're definitely real like all over the place here.
I was so what's the word? I was not excited about this year, man. Well, not excited because that sounds like I was anticipating anything, but just now that the year is over, this was not the most fun year for me when it comes to like discovering hip hop. I was just talking to my friend Rari about it. I remember when I first figured out about Detroit music, there were so many rappers coming from out of there, and not only was it so many, it was so many good ones. So I'm just going from here, I'm going from there. Oh, we got this person, that person. This year, we can speak on the mainstream and underground. I guess starting from like an underground level, I think things will probably historically speaking and probably in the future will always be more exciting just because people in the underground they're trying to figure out any way to blow up. So they're trying weird sounds, they're trying new sounds, they're trying ways
Yeah.
to, spark out, and it's going to pique your interest if you're into different sounding things. So that's always going to be things. There's always going to be things in there that you're going to find that you like. But even then, compared to previous years, I'm looking at my top albums of the year list. Bro, there's only 3 rappers in my top 10.
Really.
And yeah, it's only 3 rappers. So the fact that and what I mean, V's is one of them. He's the most mainstream person. So it's just like I don't know. It was very just lackluster. And then mainstream speaking, I've been saying this for the longest. Street rap has taken over, and I'm not mad at street rap whatsoever. But with that said, street rap I think is the worst it's ever been, like ever in the history.
And what? Who are you talking about when you say that? Are you talking about like the little baby
Yeah,
influence?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just anything that's street rap in general, just taking it all in consideration. I think mainstream street rap, let me say that, it's the
Yeah.
worst it has ever been. Because I've made videos saying this before, but when I think about street rappers from the 90s, even from a couple years ago, they've always rapped about more than one thing. You think about Wu Tang and them, like they'll have a turnt songs where they talk about doing wild stuff and torture interlude and all that. But then they'll have things where they might have a love song, or they might have an introspective song, or they might have a song about just hey I can rap good or whatever. It's not just kill 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 kill. I think about somebody even like a Boosie or a Plies. Plies got some very ignorant songs. Plies also then he might have like a Shawty where it's like a love song, but then he might have a song like 100 Years where he's bro. If anybody's never heard the song Plies 100 Years, this nigga got in his Johnny Cochran bag. I don't know how this nigga know the law so well. That nigga Plies was breaking down laws and statutes. It was insane. Even a song like that, or he got a song like "Running My Mama Crazy" where he's talking about like I'm thugging, but I know I'm driving my mama crazy, and I don't want to be doing that. Now, mainstream street rap is just like I said, kind of going back to that drill influence. It's just kill, kill. I'm smoking on this nigga. Like your grandmama dead. Da, 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 da. And just like this is this all you niggas have on your mind? Like you don't have anything else to talk about. You rapping the same on every song, and it's just like stagnant to me. You know?
Do you think it's partially because I don't want to blame everything on streaming, but in like the streaming era, if a rapper figures out one thing that works for them, they're just like, okay, this is what I have to make, and this is what people respond to, this is what people stream to, and also like the splintering of like maybe you go to YTB Fat
Mm-hmm.
one sound, and then if you want like your more emotional love songs, maybe you're like, oh, I'm gonna go fire up like there's no cap
Yeah.
song, like that. And so instead of like having like a bunch of rappers that are doing everything, you have a bunch of rappers that are doing this rapper's doing this thing, this rapper's doing this thing, this rapper, you got like your big walk dogs getting their like D lineman hype music,
Yeah. That's hilarious.
and but there's a lot of rappers in like one specific lane, which I could get what you're saying is that you want rappers who are doing a whole lot of different things. And I mean, there's some rappers that try. I mean,
I
even
think, but
like
I just think that was the norm. I don't think that's the norm anymore. I feel like niggas just are a one track mind. I feel like it was like to be expected for you not to just be a one note rapper.
yeah, I also think it's hard to say in the moment because when you look back at the past, I feel like the things we remember are like the memorable things, and versus like living it, you're experiencing so much stuff that like you're probably not going to remember a year from now. And I mean, maybe you will remember it in some way, but and also there's just so many rappers, and so with that, there's like more bad rappers. Um,
Yeah. And I don't, to answer your question about the streaming, that may have a part to do it, but I think it's a lot about like a cultural shift because I feel like a lot of, let's take a Boosie for example. I'm just thinking of a street rapper from the South because a lot of
yeah,
street rap from the South is blown up. Boosie, I think, like Boosie is like a, say what you want. He's an artist. Like Boosie grew up rapping. He groomed him and Webby. You can put Webby in this too. Groomed by Pimp C. You know what I'm saying? So they literally was like under a tutelage of like, hey, we have to be this good. And these niggas enjoyed rapping. Like I feel like these niggas they could tell you about like Southern rap or whatever. Now niggas don't really have any knowledge of rap before like you know what I'm saying they start listening to it. So in that frame of reference might not be the best. So I think that with that being said, because a nigga like, you know what I'm saying, Webby and Boosie, they're a little older. They grew up off a different era of music. So their music just gonna sound different. Like the way
yeah,
what Webby was talking about will probably mirror who he grew up listening to. And niggas aren't just rapping about those same things anymore. Like Tupac was in that era. Like you don't
yeah.
have a lot of rappers with the Tupac type of mentality. So yeah, I just think it's a cultural shift where niggas, it's kind of cool not to be a historian on you ain't gotta be a historian, but just it's kind of cool. Like nigga, I ain't listening to it. It ain't my era. You know what I'm saying? Niggas like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I think,
So yeah,
yeah, I think you're right about it's a that at least mine says a cultural shift
yeah,
because that is something that is like you'll find not just in rap music, you'll find in music and pop culture in general, people just being like, I don't care about what happened before. That's also a rite of passage of being like 19 or I remember when I was like 18 or 19, I was probably on Twitter like, bro, who was listening to Curtis Blow, that old ass? Like, and now like this year, I'm like, oh shit, Houdini was actually fire, And if I told my 19-year-old self that, I'd probably be laughing at me, like, old ass. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about with like artists being like hip to like things that became before them. I mean, that's definitely something that I look for in music that I like and music that I listen to, is artists being able to not just name people that came before them, but be able to like reinterpret or be able to like blend some like older styles into their own sound and make it new. Because I feel like that's one of the most exciting parts about rap. Even somebody like as big as Young Boy, I mean, that's part of his appeal too, is that how Young Boy was clearly like, he like No Limit, like Soulja Slim and C Murder,
Yeah.
and like he like Lil Fat and Boosie and Kevin Gates, you could say he like Tupac or whatever, and that Young Boys clearly listened to mad rap music, and you can't say that about every artist, and you can usually tell the artists who have without them even saying it.
For sure, it's like a nigga like Kodak. Like a nigga like Kodak, you could tell Kodak listens to like he listened to rap. But I done been on Kodak lives in the past, and that nigga just be playing like a random Southern artist, like that nigga be playing like a deep cut off of like an album from 2007 by like Young Buck. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga listen to like I literally have learned Young Buck songs off of Kodak. So like stuff like that, it's like yeah, this nigga really love rap, and not just the culture trip. Like, but these nigga don't really love it like that for real. It's like a like nigga, I'm trying to get out the hood, and I can't blame them. It's like this is what I gotta do to get out. But niggas don't really love it like that for real, and I feel like it shows in the music, and it really showed this year because I feel like niggas were being stagnant. You know who I feel like was improving before he got locked up, and I was like, dang, I like this dude a lot. Pooh Shiesty. I think Pooh Shiesty was gonna be really good. Pooh Shiesty could rap.
No, yeah, he can. And what was that one album he put out with was it Shiesty Season?
Shiesty Season.
I thought that was a cool album, and it seemed like a promising album.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got locked up fast.
Too fast. So yeah, so that was kind of my like thoughts on the year, and I just feel like hopefully I just kind of want to reset where it's like I just want people to like really care again, because you could tell when a nigga really care. Like you could tell when a nigga really like, okay, like he really put some effort into this. Even if the album not that good, I'm like I appreciate. I'm at the point where I'm like I'm giving E for effort. Like I appreciate you trying that. You know what I'm saying? Versus
what's the last album that you like weren't crazy about, but you were like, oh no, they're trying though.
You just brought his name up. Well, that's not even a rap album. Somebody like I could you know what? And I don't have my thoughts about him, but
You about to say Let's Start Here?
Well, I wasn't gonna say that. I would just say I was thinking about that album, but then I was thinking he did put out a song with J. Cole, which I didn't think his verse was good on that song. But I could tell Yachty is really trying to do something. I could tell like he is really trying to be artistic. He's trying to do something, and I will give him E for effort for that, even if I don't think a lot of it is good. Salute, because I heard some of his beats he produced. He seems like a pretty solid producer so far. So I mean, I'll give him that. But he's trying.
Did he produce them, or was he like in the studio like 2023 Kanye
like Travis Scott?
Tell some Swedish dude to be like, yo, press that button right there.
I will say maybe he is producing because you see he trying to be different. He trying to do something. So I'll give him credit for that. But a lot of niggas aren't trying to do that. A lot of niggas are just they hear like, bro, how many niggas are going to sound like Lil Durk? I'm tired of that. Like the auto-tune singing. I just you know what I'm saying, bro?
I mean, I love auto-tune, but the in the Little Durk inflection, I understand what you're saying.
Hey, bro, I heard a nigga. Damn, I don't want to put nigga out there. I don't even know who this is, but my homie had DM'd me a Rilo Rodriguez clone. I was like, bro, what's going on, man? I don't want to hear this, dog. So, and I love Rilo. Rilo's my guy, but it's just like, bro, why, like, because I'm not old enough for this, and I don't think you're old enough for this either. But like, I feel like the '90s niggas was like pro, like I'm trying to be different. Think about all them rappers that was like, I'm trying to be like my own type of guy. Now niggas like, nah, I'm finna try to be like the next nigga. It's like, bro, do your own thing, man. You feel me? Bruiser Wolf, bro. That nigga don't sound like nobody, man. You feel me, man? Not the Bruiser Wolf, man. But no.
I mean, you could say he sounds like some like.
Well, yeah.
Like some like '90s West Coast like.
He sounds like Sugar Free if Sugar Free talked about selling dope. Yes, he
Really?
does have that. But also, you know who kind of sound like Sugar Free, and I didn't even realize it until he said that he was influenced by Sugar Free.
Ooh,
Rap Frere, Milo,
really?
Milo. You ever listen to him before?
No, yeah, I can see it a little bit now that you say it.
Yeah, it's very very interesting. Shout out to him. But what you
I
about
don't know
to
why I thought I don't know why I thought you were about to say no name. I was about.
say? No Name sounded like Sugar Free is hilarious. We're going to get into No Name because spoiler, she is on my list. But before we get to my list, I have two more things I want to talk about. Then we get right into that. And I guess we can do this a little deviation, a little film talk, man. You're a big 1920s film mark from your letterbox, man. What you been watching this year?
I don't know about 1920s. Are we talking like things
But
that
yeah,
came out
yeah,
this
this year
year?
though, yeah. What you enjoyed this year?
Um, I mean, the new movies that came out this year. I'm trying to think. I mean, definitely.
TV included, by
Um,
the way. You could put TV shows in there too.
so, I'm gonna sit some movies. Did you watch May December?
I did not. What's that?
It's the one with Julianne Moore
No,
and Natalie Portman
did not.
and the dude from Riverdale, Charles Belton.
I did not. How was that?
Um, yeah, it's kind of a banger.
What's it
It's
called?
kind of May December.
Made
It's
in
about
December.
May December.
Made December. All right.
Yeah, it's about like this woman who had like a scandal when she was like 36. If she was like sleeping with and had a child with like a kid who was in middle school, and we're in like the present day now, and they're like married. And
Mm,
Natalie Portman is an actress who wants to play this woman in like a movie, and so she's coming in like into like interrupting their
yeah.
life in like isolation almost, and it's like a pretty good, just like straight up melodrama. Maybe a little spin on some true crime aspects. Um,
Real quick before you keep going, can I say a movie that made me think of? I don't know how many people have ever seen this movie. It has freaking Whoopi Goldberg in it, but I forget the name of it. It's like I'll find it while I'm talking, but it's like this movie where they go out somewhere like to like this hotel or this party, this family, and she loses one of her kids, and so her kids just essentially get kidnapped. Like 10 years later, uh, she gets a knocks on the door, and like this boy's trying to like mow her lawn, and it's her son. And it's just like, oh my god, it's just one of those type of movies. You ever seen a movie before? I forget what it's
no,
called.
I never even heard that.
Something
Man,
about
I
Whoopi.
feel like I've seen like 5 movies with Whoopi Goldberg in my life.
You ever seen Sister Act?
Yeah, Sister Act 2, like Color Purple.
It's called The Deep End of the Ocean. That's what the movie's called.
I've never seen
Deep End of the Ocean.
that. Is it good?
Uh, I'm a sucker for movies like that, so I'm not gonna say it's like the greatest movie, but I enjoy it. I've watched it twice and I've enjoyed it. So it's not nothing I would say you gotta watch, but it's if it's on TV, watch it.
Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna look that up. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other movies I saw this
I'll
year.
let you think because I feel like you got probably got a lot. I don't really have that much, so I'll say my list and let you think of your list real quick.
I can come up with
You got
it.
some lists? Yeah?
You see Passages.
No.
That was like I'm trying to think of I want to say it's French. That was a good a good one. First Slam Dunk, an anime sports anime movie. That shit was fire. They played an entire basketball game in the movie, like bro, from like the tip off, like the timeouts to the crossover to the free throws. Like he gets fouled, and you're gonna watch him. The ref is gonna pass him the ball. He's gonna dribble, do his routine. Boom. He's gonna dribble, do his routine. Boom. And then they have flashbacks to like his traumatic like
I'm
upbringing.
watching this as soon as we hang up, nigga. This sounds crazy. This sounds hard.
This shit is crazy. But yeah, those are some of like my
This
favorite.
bruh, this nigga got a
Yeah,
fade,
yeah,
bruh.
yeah, yeah.
That's
That movie was
hilarious.
crazy.
All right. So we have to watch that. So I like I said, I'm a fake cinephile. You feel me? I really want to be like a big movie guy. I tried this year. I popped out to the movies for the first time since like 2017. Last time I went to the movies, I went to go see Split. You ever seen that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was the last film I ever seen in the movies. So I
What
popped. Hmm?
what'd you see when you went to the movies this year?
Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay, what'd you think? I feel like you liked it.
It's not a bad movie, but boy oh boy, it's a couple things. It's long. I don't know if it needed to be that long of a movie.
D long.
It's very long. Another thing, the audio, like the mixing of the vocals, it's a little hard to hear what they're saying sometimes because I think Christopher Nolan just has that with his movies. Like it's just it was a little too low. Like you can't really hear what they're saying. Then another thing I really had a trouble with. There were a lot of characters being introduced, and like they were expecting you to remember their names. Like they'll introduce a nigga for like 5 seconds, and then like 45 minutes later they'll be like, "Are you talking about Tim?" And I'm like, "Which one was Tim?" Like that was like 13 characters. Like it was just too many characters going on. But as a movie, like I would say going to the movie theater to see that was like because it's a lot of sounds and a lot of audio things going on. So it's a good movie though, but it's just a little long and yeah, the character thing kind of threw me off.
Yeah, it's definitely long.
You seen it?
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely one of the movies. If I didn't see it in the movie theater, like if I just watched it at home, I probably would have liked it less.
Yeah, agreed.
Just because, like, even like the score and like I don't know if you watched it in IMAX or not.
I was in IMAX.
But like when the shit was just like shaking,
Yeah.
you like, and like nothing was even really happening on screen. They would just be like having some conversation, but it really did add to like the feel of like the tension he was trying to build. And usually when people are like, "You have to see this in the movie theater," I'm like, "Yeah." But like with that, I feel like it was actually added a lot to it.
That's one of them for sure, where you need to go to the movies to see that.
Yeah,
Um,
you didn't see Killers of the Flower Moon?
so have not seen that yet though, but I do plan on seeing that. I do
Yeah.
plan on seeing that.
Yeah.
You
No,
seen it?
nah, I see it. It's good. I have my problems with it. But you know, I really want to see the Von Erich movie.
Ooh, was that like December 22nd or something coming out?
Yeah. It's comes out like Christmas or something like that.
Got you. No, that definitely looks hard. That definitely looks hard. And like, I think Chavo was like training them for like matches or whatever. And like, yeah, I hear like the wrestling scenes are like really good like wrestling. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested.
Your boy MJF was supposed to be in it.
Is he?
I
Did
think
they cut him out?
I think that's what I heard. I heard he got cut out. I haven't seen it, but
Hey, I'm not. I'd be kind of mad if I was that nigga, man. Because that nigga. Imagine he didn't know that. Because I seen him at the premiere with John Cena. Imagine he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm in a movie," and that nigga watched the whole movie. And they like, where I'm at." So, I would. I would hope for his sake he's not cut out.
what's the best old movie you've seen for the first time this year?
Best old movie that I've seen for the first time this year. That is a really good. I'm gonna say one more movie that I seen this year that came out this year. Because while
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that, I just watched it and it was really good. Have you seen The Leftovers or the Holdovers? Excuse me.
The Holders, not haven't seen it with Paul Giamatti and
Fire. Really good movie.
everybody's saying that. Like I remember when I saw it was coming out, I was like, oh. Even though the director Alexander Payne, I think he's cool. He did like what do you call it, Sideways,
Yeah.
and Descendants and stuff like that. But I haven't got. It's a holiday movie, right?
Yeah. It's a they're like being held over for like Christmas break. Like the people that didn't have like any family to go to because they're like at a boarding school. Like the family was out of town already or something. They stayed over
Yeah.
to the boarding school. Really good movie.
That's about to be my weekend. The Holdovers and the Iron Claw.
Yeah, definitely watch that. I'm thinking about old film. What old film have you watched this year? I'm still thinking.
I'm trying to think. Probably earlier this year I saw this. Like I'm always watching the martial arts movies. This one Tiger Cage is from like 1990, I want to say, and it's just like no, it's 88. It's just like off the walls. Has like Simon Yam in it, Donnie Yen, a very really young Donnie Yen, Hitman, Jackie Chung, and this is just like wall to wall just action.
What's it called?
Tiger Cage.
Tiger Cage. Okay.
Yeah, and I was also just watching like mad westerns, like The Fastest Gun Alive, some Glenn Ford western for the 50s. I was also trying to get in like I was watching a lot of the Willie Nelson movies, Honeysuckle Rose and Songwriter, and yeah, I didn't realize like you could act a little bit, and I kind of like the almost just like lazy humdrum feel of those movies. It almost feels like I was also reading a couple just like westerns throughout the year. Like I was put on to like Larry McMurtry, like the novelist, and his like I was reading like Leaving Cheyenne and stuff like that, and his books just kind of have just like this like real day in the life feel of like spending time with like these people in like Oklahoma and Texas and Houston and stuff. I mean, Houston's Texas, and St. Louis and stuff like that. and I feel like those Willie Nelson movies really capture that.
I didn't even know
Um,
Willie Nelson acted until you just said that.
nah, yeah, he got some heat.
Okay, okay. Hey, I need you to help culture me, bro. I don't be knowing about. You feel me? Right? Every time I need you need to send me like a book and movie recommendation list when you're off here because that is I've been in my Western bag too. Before I answer your question, you know
Yeah,
it's a really good Western from 2021.
but
Have you seen Old Henry?
I have not. Is that the one with Terry Crews?
Hell no. Taylor is not in this. What? That's hilarious. Nigga said Terry
What
Crews.
the hell am I thinking of?
Are you thinking about did Terry Crews play did he play like an old black like folklore person?
Nah, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I
That's what you
swear it was
talking
called.
about.
I swear it was called Old Henry.
No, that's Henry. Henry. What's Brett
Oh,
name?
it's called John Henry.
John Henry. Yeah, John
It's with him
Henry.
and
That's
Ludacris.
that's hilarious. Nigga thought I said John Henry. That's funny. No. So out of everything I've recommended to you, this is the one that I actually want you to write down and watch. Old Henry. That movie, 2021. It's a western.
Yeah,
Chef's Kiss. That is a really great film. It's just it's just like a kind of like a modern western movie, and it's so good, man, so good. So
yeah.
I would recommend that.
Nah, yeah, it looks cool. Nah, I'm gonna fire that up.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. But old movies, I have two that I really liked. Two that I never seen. One is a kind of classic. The other not so much. The classic is Jack Nicholson, the one that flew over the cuckoo nest. I think is the name of the
Oh yeah,
film, right?
yeah,
Never
yeah.
seen that before. Enjoyed that a lot. Very
Nah,
very
yeah,
good film.
a great movie.
Very good movie. And the other one that's not so classic, and literally I seen it like on my Samsung TV. It was just there, and I was like, okay, it's free on Tubi. I'll watch this. Buffalo 66.
I have not seen that. Who's in that?
Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it.
So it's a 1998 film, and it has the nigga Vincent Gallo in it. He's kind of like the main person. Mickey Rourke is in the film as well. Those are kind of like the two main people that people may know.
Is it like post like Mickey Rourke's face being all fucked up?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
No, yeah, I don't think he's there. He's not like he was in the wrestler at all. Not, it's not like that. But yes, that film right there is essentially about like a dude who's literally like holding this woman hostage and like making him like he basically holds woman hostage and like makes her like you're gonna be my pretend girlfriend and almost like some Stockholm syndrome stuff happened where she actually falls in love with him and it's a very I like the film a lot. So Buffalo 66 was a film I'd never seen that I had a good time with.
Yeah, I
And the
know people.
score,
I know people love Vincent Gallo.
well, he's crazy from like, from what I know, he's a psychopath.
Oh yeah, I was reading about that movie, The Brown Bunny, this year that he did with Chloe Sevigny, and I was like, bro, who the hell is like giving this man money to do anything?
So on that film, Buffalo 66, he was kind of like he was kind of wilding, like he was just like being like abusive to everybody. He was just a nutcase, and his character's also a nutcase. So yeah, I would say yeah, those are the two that I would say really grabbed me. But last thing though, like I said, before we get into this list, and I want to touch on that me and you are directly affected by is hip hop media 2023. I didn't know if you had any thoughts. I want to shout out some people maybe that's not getting some love. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm kind of going to be a Debbie Downer, so I'm gonna let you go first. No, I'll be a Debbie Downer. You
No,
clean it
no,
up
yeah,
for me.
no,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. You be a Derek
Yeah.
Down first. I want to hear this.
Perfect. So essentially, boy, does hip hop media in 2023 absolutely stink. Um, like the biggest people are like what Adam 22, and I just seen a video where like like he basically helped Crip Mac blow up. Crip Mac been helping his channel blow up, and Crip Mac just got locked up. And Whack 100 out of all people was the voice of reason. He was like, "You're gonna go to this court date?" He was like, "No, I'm busy." He was like, "Well, if you can give like a statement to the judge, you would like probably help him get free." He was like, "Well, too bad, I'm booked." And I was like, "You can't make like 30 minutes to help your friend out?" And he was like, "What I'm supposed to do? Like just surround my whole day around one person?" I was like, "That's crazy." And then they cut to like a video where like Crip Mac is about to fight this dude named King Richard for Adam 22. And I'm just like, that's
Yeah,
crazy. This man about to crash out over you. You can't give him 30 minutes. So you got people like that, and you got your typical suspects of, you know what I'm saying? You got your, what's the white boy name? Trap Lil Ross. You know what I'm saying? You got like
You are way deeper into this world than me. I don't like really consume like the YouTube.
me neither, me neither. But these are the people I'm saying that are leading the charge when you think of hip hop media. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the biggest people
Was,
that I'm. You know,
was this year the year that Complex did that list?
the media personalities.
Yeah,
I did
I
see that.
remember. Yeah, it probably was this year because I feel like that like set like Elliot Wilson off.
Did it? Yep. Also, another absolute dork. Elliot Wilson. Hey, I'm gonna be the young nigga here. I'm gonna be the young nigga that be like, I don't do my history. I don't really know too much about Elliot Wilson outside of like what he's done in the past 10 years. I'm almost positive he's done great stuff for hip hop journalism and wrote for a bunch of magazines in the '90s and have a bunch of great interviews. I am positive of that. Is he also an absolute dork? Yes, he is. Big time dweeb. Kind of what I'm.
He contributed to the Ego Trips Book of Rap list, so he's cool for that to me, but he was bugging out this year. So
Man,
yeah.
the whole thing with like basically Kai Cenat does an interview with Nicki Minaj, and then he tweets out a picture very condescendingly of a screenshot of like Nicki Minaj twerking on Kai Cenat's stream, and he's like, "This is hip hop journalism," and it's just like,
Why are people clutching their pearls over somebody like dissing or making fun of Kai Cenat?
with that instant or just in general.
In that instant, I'll say.
I would say that was just corny. He was just old man. Like, bro, we all black, bro. We all black men at that, bro. Like, and it's like a young black kid. Like, just big him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we like? First of all, this nigga not a journalist. First of all, two,
Yeah.
you 50 years old hating on a young nigga getting an interview that you didn't get. Like, nigga, who? Like, nigga.
Yeah. That's the corny part.
That's what I'm talking about. It was that. You know what I'm saying? You can
He
criticize,
doesn't
bro.
really care about like if Kai Cenat's a good platform or not. It's just that he got something that he can't get.
Yeah, that's my point. So it's just like, and then it's just like I done seen that nigga, this hip hop journalism, but then and, like being condescending, but then the nigga supports somebody like DJ Academics, and it's like, bro, what do we, what I'm saying? What are we doing here, bro? What are we really doing here, dog? So like he just corny, bro. Like
If Academics hit you up and say, "Yo, I want to do an interview on your channel," you doing it?
like I interview him or he's interviewing me.
No, you interview him.
You know what's funny? I once upon a time wanted to interview Academics, and it was just gonna be me like damn near swerving him and just being like, "You're a coon," just going crazy. And I was like, I used to be like, man, I want to debate people on my channel or whatever. I don't. What am I going to say to that nigga? I don't really have nothing to say to, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of nigga I really don't got nothing to say to. Really, to be honest with you.
I know your Sean C's your boy. Is Say Cheese? Where does Say Cheese rank on this? Like, because Say Cheese is like one of those like Instagram blogs.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. So.
And I think you could be very critical of like what they post and what they don't post.
Yeah.
And how they use it.
So yeah, Sean C and Sean Cotton are very two different people. So.
Oh, I'm bugging. I was thinking of Sean Cotton.
I don't know Sean Cotton. I know Sean C, but yeah, Sean Cotton. I don't know that nigga. So yeah, that's so funny.
You see, this is how
not deep are you into it. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't really know the nigga Sean Cotton, but yeah, I done seen him do some. That's funny though. That's funny. But yeah, I don't follow shit Say Cheese like that, so I don't really be paying attention too much what they be doing. But yeah, I don't know. I just seen what bruh Elliot Wilson was doing, and I was just like, man, this nigga, you supposed to be like one of the old gatekeepers. Like, you don't see a nigga like Sway doing that. You know what I'm saying? You don't see a nigga like Sway pulling a nigga car. That was just weird. But yeah.
Sway's never been like that. Sway has the reputation of just
and that's why niggas respect Sway. You know what I'm saying? That's why niggas.
Like, even if you listen to the Blog Era podcast, which was like a good listen that I listened to this year. They were doing like some Elliot Wilson history of him being at like Double XL and all that stuff. And even then, he was like trying to be like, he's like, oh, I'm the villain, yada yada. Like that's like been his like MO.
That nigga a cornball Jamal, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah. Just looking at what's popping off in hip hop, like I said, just the big names.
Like I said, like, I don't really dive deep into the YouTube world. I know you say you don't either. Even like the TikToks, like people being like, "Oh, I'm doing like this little interview," and I'm like, some of it's cool, some of it's like
Yeah.
pretty like straightforward and boring. But I mostly just like read a lot of stuff. I think there are like good people writing about rap music out. Like, I read Dylan
I was
Green
say
and
shout out to Dylan. Yeah, shout out to
yeah,
Dylan.
I read Andre G and
Shout out to him.
Monkaper at Rolling Stone, and I mean the list. I think it's like a good list of like some rap writers like Nobels and all that stuff.
Shout out to No Bills.
Even like some like Matt Ritchie and Brandon Calendar and Passion Weiss.
Shout out to Brandon.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's kind of all like sectioned off into one corner of the internet, and like the video stuff has a way bigger platform. Like you're talking about Adam 22 and academics is not even like comparable, like the reach, because most people aren't like logging on to like the Fader to read a blog post or whatever.
Are you watching anybody?
I don't think I watch any, like I don't do the Joe Buddens or anything like that. I watch clips. I watch clips of like the Cameron and May show.
Yeah.
I've actually sat there and watched full episodes of that show, which is like pretty rare for me within like the rap podcast and like.
And I don't even know if that's not really like a rap podcast.
Yeah, it's not. They be trying to talk about sports. It's really just them just like two old Harlem dudes gossiping. I guess a Jacksonville and Harlem dude.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
But I mean, they can be funny sometimes. It's almost like better to just wait for it to come out in like Twitter clips.
Yeah.
Because instead of just sitting there and watching the whole thing.
Mace knows nothing about sports. I just want to throw it out there. Like Mace knows nothing about sports.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but I feel like most YouTube stuff is like that to me. Not to throw shade at. I know that's where you make your bread and butter, but like a lot of it, especially like I was talking to another really good rap writer today, Lawrence at True Laurels, about just like the difference between watching a interview on YouTube versus reading one, and just like how much more like efficient and concise writing is versus like the YouTube interview, which I mean there are people that do the YouTube interview well, and it's for like different reasons. It's because they're maybe an engaging conversationalist like you, for example, but they're almost two different things,
I was gonna say I can't speak for anybody else but me, but I 100% think my interviews come off much better in a video format versus reading it. I feel like looking at the reactions of the person who was laughing at something, I feel like you get more of that than reading it. But I'm not saying that's like, you could be right about like everybody else, but just for my style of interview, I would rather much do a video format than writing. Like you've seen my interviews, you think mine would translate just as well as I think it's much better in a video format.
I think it could, but I think you're good at getting your like personality across in like video format, and it might be something that's harder to translate on the page, or you would just have to like write a lot to be able to do it.
It's like when I interviewed Hot Boy, I remember it was just certain things that I felt like it's just like an energy that can only be captured that you can see. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to translate that to paper, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Just specifically me. Like somebody like whoever else, you would probably prefer it to be on paper, but yeah. I know. I definitely.
We need to get you. We need to get you a budget so we could get you to like fly out and do like these like in person things. Like you be there at like their on their couch or whatever.
Hey, nigga, I know somebody that works somewhere at a big magazine, so I mean, shit. You throw the word out there if you want to, but nah, yeah. I mean, hopefully 2024 you'll see much more in person stuff. Actually, should be closing out the year with a in person Skilla Baby interview. So
really?
Yeah, shout out to Skilla Baby. But enough with all the games. It's not what everybody came for. They came for this list, man. I think to start off the list, we should start off with the people that each person told the other to listen to. So just like last year, we gave each other albums to listen to that we've never heard that was like really important to us. So this year we did the same thing. And the way I want to do this, I want the person who gave the album out to say how they feel about the album, and then the person who heard the album for the first time to give their reaction. So,
Yeah.
um, I'll which one you want? Let's do
Yeah.
let's do your boy. Let's do your boy. Let's do your boy.
Yeah. And this will be the first person on my list too. Um, it's Ken Carson, who this year put out A Great Chaos, which, I mean, it kind of like blew me away when I first listened to it, just because I wasn't like expecting it to be any good. Like I remember when I heard that Ken Carson was about to drop, I was like, oh yeah, because I mean last year when he dropped X, I reviewed it for Pitchfork, and I was like, I was like pretty like I was pretty much clowning on it, and I was like, bro, this shit is trash. He's basically Cardi, but not as good. Um, there's no emotion, no feeling. The beats are good, but there's nothing like to his raps. And this album completely like changed my like view on him.
Yeah.
And just because that, I mean, one, I think there's like so much more to know about him. Even on like the last album, there felt like no humanity to it. You know, there was like no like human details. I didn't know like what he listened to beyond Playboy Cardi. I didn't know anything about him growing up in Atlanta. I didn't know anything about what he watched on TV or what sports he knew. I didn't know anything like that. It just felt like so manicured to just be like, oh, how do you make a Playboy Cardi album? And I feel like this album really changes that. I feel like not only do we like hear him like, you know, he has a song called Jennifer's Body like on the song on this album that has like this little like beginning part where it like starts and stops and starts and stops that he took from Green Day. It has like that last like minute or so of Fighting My Demons where he's just like where that beat changes up and he's just like yelling Fighting My Demons over and over again, and that shit is like the most Future sounding like 30 seconds or minute like ever not made by Future. There's like you know, Lose It where the bass is completely blown out and he's like almost like throwing a tantrum while that's happening. There's even like a song like Paranoia with him and Destroy Lonely where he's like, no, he actually sounds like a little bit like in love or at least like thinking about being in love. And you know, of course, there's a bunch of like dumb stuff about like boob jobs and shit on there too. But yeah, it was really like it really made me think heavily about like a Future album and all the emotions that come with that. And even in my like album list that I wrote for Pitchfork, I basically called it. I was like, it's the Future album that Future can't make anymore, and I called it like the Opium, like Future self-titled. And so I mean, I love that album, and that's pretty much why I love this one.
Now, before I get into it, what do you think my thoughts are?
What I think about what?
What do you think my thoughts are going to be before I tell you?
I mean, I think you're gonna hate it.
And my thoughts on this Ken Carson album. All right, so let's start here. Number one, I think you making the Future comparison about like this is kind of what Future can't do anymore. I think probably might be the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard out of your mouth. That is, I think the Future comparison is, man, I don't like that one. I don't really like that one. I see what you're attempting to do. It was a slam dunk. What's the anime movie called? The first slam dunk? It was your first slam dunk? You missed it, though. You missed that. I don't like that comparison. I see what you're trying to do with this album, or with saying that about this album. But I don't think that because early Future had so much artistry into it. And, like, bro, if you listen to, like, Streets Made Me, or Streets Calling, that nigga is, like, doing a different flow on every verse. He have like gone to the moon, got 3 verses, 3 different flows on every verse. I'm going to the machine. Yeah, got food. So I smoked up, boss up. Like it's very distinct. So he does that. He did that all the time. So I think Future is a different artist from then. He's not doing stuff like that. But I don't hear that type of stuff on this album that would make me compare it to Future. I feel like they're doing two different things. That's one. Two, my actual thoughts on if I think the album is good or not. I don't hate this album. I don't hate this album at all.
You don't?
I don't hate this album at all. So
Do you like it?
okay, so that's why I say I don't hate it, because when I first heard it, I thought, man, he is getting so carried by these beats. Like these beats are carried. Like if these beats weren't this amazing, this album wouldn't sound that good. But I told myself I need to like live with this album some more. So I played it a lot at my house, and I drove around to it. I was out in public playing it because I feel
Yeah.
like this is an album that you can't just hear in your bed and be like, this is good or not. Like I really need to experience this album.
Yeah.
And I will say, off rip though, my favorite song was definitely "It's Just Me and My Cup in It Bit."
Yeah.
I played that
That,
song like 30 times, bruh.
that beat is like bonkers too.
That beat is crazy, man. I would say I got every Balenciaga boot except for the cross. And that song is crazy to me. But I do hear that song, listening to you talking about Future, and I think, damn, boy, Future would have went crazy on this song. I on every song that I do kind of like, I always think that. But I listened to it today in the car, just driving around going to Walmart, and I was like, yeah, this is straight. Like, I said, this straight. This is definitely straight. Like the beats is crazy. He doing his thing on what's that song that what do you say if it's a heaven, it be gonna hell. What song it is?
What is that?
I think that might be like at the very. That's at the top. I think that might be. Is that Singapore?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
It's one of them songs. Either way, like that. Jennifer Body. That's that. And Jennifer Body's where he say. I know two things like the. I never seen a nigga beat a gun and a bitch out yet. I like that. That was like he had a lot of quotables. I will say that. Like he had. And I always say like I need rappers with quotables. That's the one thing that Future always give us is quotables that we can live by, that we can go off of. And he had some straight quotables. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, I appreciate him. I feel like he put in more effort in putting quotables in than Cardi is. I don't see Cardi. How many quotables does Cardi really have? They thought I was gay, so they got me some thoughts. Like how many quotables does he have?
I mean, I feel like I never even like consume like Playboy Cardi music in that way where I'm like reciting lyrics to myself.
I would say most of the rap that I listen to, I need quotables. Young Thug gave me quotables. Future gave me quotables. Like I need quotables in my rap, to be honest with you. Like I need to call my friend and be like, bro, that nigga just said da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? If I can't do that, a lot of times it's gonna be hard for me to be like, I'm a very big fan of that person. So but overall, it ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something to work off of for sure. So yeah, I didn't hate it at all. I didn't hate it at all. And the beats, like I said, the beats are phenomenal though.
You don't see the Future comparison at all. Is it
I
that?
could tell he grew up listening to Future. No, I could tell he a Future fan. Yeah, I
And
could tell
and I'm,
Future
and
fan.
I'm not saying that he's at like the same. Like Future is way more emotionally complex. There's way more
Yeah,
like things going on. Like where Ken Carson's saying I fight my demons, which is somewhat vague. With Future, you always know what those demons are because it's pretty clearly laid out.
yeah,
Maybe there's a song just as straight up about it. We hear experiences and stories,
yeah,
and which Ken Carson doesn't really do. It's more just straight up cool. But I think the thing about Future is he could do all that and still be like cool too.
yeah,
So there is a lot more going on in the Future album, especially like earlier Future stuff. That's why I maybe think of like later Future stuff. That's why I was saying self-titled album where self-titled is still good Future, but it is a little bit more like shaved down
yeah.
than like the early 2010 stuff and even like the that mixtape run stuff. But yeah, no, I see where you're coming from though. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I still see it.
Beats are amazing though. The beats are, boy, it's like nigga. When you was talking about when the beat do the this. You know what I'm saying? That's hard. Like, yeah, like these producers over there at Opium, they need a pay raise. I don't know how much they're getting paid over there, but they are doing their Doug Thizzle. So Yeah, I would say, like I said, I don't hate this album. I went in thinking this is going to be terrible, but I went
Yeah,
in leaving today. Definitely, I liked it more today because, like I said, I was in the car riding around to it, and I was like, "This is hard." So, yeah, them beats are hard, and yeah, man, I could see him progressing as an artist because, like you said, I've heard a little bit of him before then. He wasn't really doing this, so it
yeah.
does make me like, okay, he's trying to progress. So, yeah,
No,
man.
no, yeah. There's a lot more going on than there was before, and I mean, you could tell even without the stories that we're talking about
Yeah,
and like that range of emotions. Even like there's a song at the end, "I Need You," of where he's kind of just has like this like toxic love. Was he talking about? He's like, oh, we get high together basically,
yeah.
and he's talking about that as if it's like, it's them giving each other flowers or some shit like that. And I don't know, I've always liked that type of shit, and that's the type of thing that if Future made it now, it would be almost too over the top.
Mhm.
Um, and that I feel like he really like nails that.
I will say this before we get off of here. But Future then turns around last year and gives us, I think this is one of Future's best songs ever. And I think about that, I'm like, how is Future giving us like some of his best work ever this late in his career? That what's that? What's the song about his grandmama hands? Or what's the song on that album where he talking about his grandmama?
Is it one of the ones from "I Never Liked You"?
Yeah. What's the name of the song? It's freaking called Love You Better. Yes. I
Yeah,
love you better than I
man.
can.
I think I listen to too much radio. I be listening to Funk Flex all the time, and so I cannot listen to that song anymore.
Bro, I love that. They played on the radio?
Bro, they play that song all the time.
Bro, why they play? That might be too sad for the radio, bro. Nigga might end it all listening to that song, bro. Like, you remember they was playing 444 on the radio, the song?
Yeah,
Why were they playing that on the radio, bro?
because they play anything by that.
That was a therapy session, bro. I think that should not should be on the radio, but yeah. Shout out to King Carson. I
Yeah,
can't say
I
I'm
mean,
mad.
I love hearing sad songs on the radio, and that even brings me to the artist that you wanted me to listen to,
Yeah,
and who I think is, I don't want to step on your pick.
yeah.
But I was thinking about your artist the other day because on Sunday I was sitting there, I was flipping through the channels, I was watching CBS like my grandfather would. I was watching CBS on a Sunday night, and they were having the birthday celebration of somebody we talked about before, Willie Nelson. They were having his 90th birthday party, and it was basically just like a celebration concert, and there were a bunch of people coming to like perform his songs. That he came out and did like a set and like with George Strait and Snoop Dogg and him and Snoop Dogg did a duet or whatever.
That's hard.
And I was like, man, here on CBS and Willie Nelson performing these songs, I'm like, damn, a lot of these songs are just like sad and depressed. Like there was one song he was doing with Snoop Dogg where he was like, when I die, roll me up and smoke me in a blunt or some shit like that.
He called himself a pack? That's crazy.
And he's just singing that on like 9 p.m. on CBS, like after 60 Minutes or whatever. And I'm like, damn, man, that's like the type of shit you hear in rap.
Yeah.
Like mad, like depressed, and just be on like the radio in between like an Ice Spice song and like the Ice Spice Barbie song or whatever. And when I was listening to the album you chose, I'll just say the Zack Bryan album. That's kind of like what I missed with. I was like, damn, this doesn't feel like, it's like sad, but not sad enough. And it's like almost all the pain and like suffering he's been through. Like I was reading like some of the context of the songs and stuff like that is almost used to almost be like motivational, and it's like this real like head on his shoulders music that I almost like don't respond to as much, especially when I was listening to like somebody like, not to even compare him to Willie Nelson, but even I was listening to something like that, like I almost respond more to like these like real sad sack singers, and I feel like Zack Bryan's not really there. But you tell me why you like. I know you were listening to this heavy.
So, I discovered this album when I had COVID.
Yeah.
And this album really got me through COVID. I played this album back to back to back to back. And it's so many. I love his song. I think he's a very good songwriting. And I feel like mixed with good songwriting, he can give you, I feel like, very honest, and in my opinion, some sad songwriting, but also make it very memorable with his melodies. Like, bro, you do not understand how many times I've sung that song, Hey Driver. So take me down a road that's a little bit winding. I've sung that song so many times. To a place they still put sugar in their iced tea. That song is like one of my favorite songs of the year. And anything with just like even the intro where he's kind of doing like spoken word, I thought that was interesting. Mixing like spoken word in with like country, I thought that was cool. And just something like Fear and Fridays, just like I said, he has so many just like lines that stick out. You know what I'm saying? He said, what he said? He said, I never been baptized in water as cool as you. Like, it's just like very country ass lines, you know what I'm saying? The Holy Roller song, I love Holy Roller. Yeah, it's just a lot of, I feel like, good songwriting mixed with very memorable melodies. And that did it for me, man. I needed that, man.
Yeah. I think the songwriting is cool. I think the melodies are a little flat.
Really?
I think it's a little like samey throughout. And I almost like music that's a little bit more up and down. But I think you're right about like how lines stick out at you. I think he's pretty good at hooks. He's pretty good at making you almost want to know the words so you can sing along. And I feel like that's a big part of the appeal. But I think it's an interesting album. I don't like love it or anything, but I think it's interesting. The song with Casey Musgraves, that duet, that's like the one I had heard before. Like that, I've heard that just like on the radio commercials or whatever. I think it's a cool song, and even like some of the writing, like there's the one that's like what's the one's like Oklahoma, the one about the girl that's like she was the prettiest girl back in the day,
Yeah.
Oklahoma, whatever, and I like the way he builds that story. It reminded me of like watching like one of like those old movies like that Peter Bogdanovich movie, The Last Picture Show or something like that, which I think is something he was going for. But I think there's some like positives to take away there. I think it's just like the sameness of the vocals, and even like the instrumentation is almost like it could almost be like too stripped down almost.
Okay, I can feel that.
And not to say that I want him to like have like the big like Nashville style like band and all that stuff like that, but some of it is just like stripped down to the point of being like boring. Not because it's stripped down, but because his voice isn't strong enough to carry that. I almost wanted to be like not to bring it back to straight up rap, but like somebody like Rod Wave. Like I'd be sitting there in like my room, I'd be like, oh, let me throw on the Rod Wave Chip on My Soldier like acoustic performance, and I feel like somebody like Rod Wave could pull that off.
What a song, by the way. What a song. Great song.
Bro, that's the greatest Rod Wave. I'm dead ass. Bro, I be singing that to myself, bro.
This nigga Alphonse need a hug, bro. This nigga listen to the saddest music of all time, bro.
Even that Rod Wave song, what's that one where he samples the Hank Williams Jr. OD in Denver, Cold December, and that's the one where he's in the video. You ever see the video where he's chopping the wood and shit like that? And like,
yeah, I know you're talking about that.
Yeah, but Rod Wave has such a big voice that he could like pull off like that. Really, just like almost like nothing is behind them. And I feel like Zack Bryan's voice isn't big enough for that. But I was reading about it. He has a really interesting story, and I like writers who seem like they have lived an actual life before, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like he was in the Navy and all that stuff. He grew up in Oklahoma. He was like I think he like spent some time in like Japan or somewhere in India or something like that. And like I don't know. I feel like that's an important part of being like a good like songwriter.
Yeah.
Like you have experienced stuff, and that's something that we don't always get to experience especially in like popular rap, because so often the rappers are very young, and so they're almost like repeating things that they've like heard passed down to them, or they've seen on TV, or just like things they hear about whatever high school they're in or something like that. And so I feel like that's like why your rap listening should be like a mix of all ages, so you can still get like the Billy Woods
Yeah.
storytelling, and you could listen to like your Too Solid Dirtball or whatever. But I do like that his songwriting benefits from like having experienced stuff before, you know?
For sure. And I needed just a country singer because before like Morgan Wallen kind of blew up, I was showing people Morgan Wallen, and then Morgan Wallen said nigga, and then everybody was like, "Hey, ain't this your boy?" And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" So I needed a new person to kind of show the people and be like, "Hey, it's not Morgan Wallen, it's Zack Bryan." So, yeah, shout out to Zack Bryan, man. Shout out to Zack Bryan. Also, before we get to this list, am I the only one that thinks Rod Wave, like he's not? He could do so much more. Like if he did different sounds, like I feel like he's kind of too safe with his sound. Like if he just did something a little different.
What type of sound would you? Man, I would love, not to say he needs to go like. I've always like even when I was talking about Tip on My Shoulder, where he's just doing like that like acoustic.
That's
like,
different, yeah.
performance. Yeah, and I'm like, damn, this sounds so good. And it's not like I want him to make like a pure like country album,
Yeah.
pure like blues album. And I don't want him to make like the country, like the trap country album.
Mm-mm.
That shit always sounds terrible. But there is like a lane for him to do like that, like just like him and a guitar, or like him and like I don't like him on straight up pianos as much. I think the guitar stuff is cooler with his voice. But there is like a room for that, a lane for that without being corny. And it's almost like it is really safe because he's so popular, and you know he's probably like very concerned about like making sure that he's able to sustain this popularity and not like mix up formula too much. But there is like a lot of things he could do with what he does.
Remember I showed you that one song, and like I'm not even talking about. I don't even think he needs to rap all that much. Remember I showed you that one song where I said it sounded like he woke up out of a nightmare and just ran to the booth.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he don't make music that sound like that anymore either. Cause like that nigga was rapping his ass off on that, and like I just wish he would do more different things. Rather if it's the guitar or whatever. But yeah, he was actually just here yesterday in Jacksonville. He did it was like his
Really?
last show to tour. So shout out to Rod Wave. I am a Rod Wave guy.
I know the line was like 10 blocks down in Jacksonville. I know they were going nuts.
Bro, they was, and you see, nigga, you see the thing where he be falling backwards or whatever in the. That nigga's funny.
Like Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yeah. Get the tables for him, but let's get into this doggone list, man.
Yeah.
I want to start off because my first artist isn't really on the list. I just want to get this out the way because this isn't like By the way, this is like I said once again the artist who defined 2023 for me and Alphonse. 10 of them, and the first artist I'm gonna do two because this first artist, like I said, really isn't here for like music reasons. Here for another reason, and I want to say Kevin Gates. Just want to shout out Kevin Gates because that interview I did with him, hey man, that really helped me out a lot. You feel me? So that nigga did define 2023 for me because that was a very important interview with me. He didn't really drop too much music per se, so I can't even put him here for that. But shout out to him and his people for letting me do that interview.
I feel like he don't even like drop that many songs anymore.
He's
just
dropping.
like,
He's dropping an album next year, so
oh, he is.
Interested.
I feel like he's just like getting paid to be on podcasts or whatever. They'd be like, yo, Kevin, tell me your freakiest story. And he's like, oh yeah, sure.
Can I talk about big booties and just talking about booties or whatever? But my first real artist is somebody who I interviewed as well, but somebody who is also here for music. So my real first artist who defined 2023 for me is Noname. And once again, like I said, somebody who interviewed me. Also, during that time where I was listening to a lot of Zack Bryan where I had COVID, that's when she had DM'd me. She seen my review and was like, yo, I want to do an album review I want to do an interview after seeing my album review. And my album review was very positive, just glowing. I feel like she really did a lot of cool stuff on her album, and she sounded almost damn near pissed off because like she always had that like kind of like a spoken word type of flow or whatever, but something like potentially the interlude, she's kind of like rapping aggressively, and she just sounds a little bit more mad and have more energy. But one of my favorite things about the album is the melody she did, or like something on balloons. The baby where we at, we on a spaceship, we waiting under the moonlights. Where we at? That I love. That's one of my favorite melodies of the year as well. I loved what she did on there, and yeah, man, No Name was somebody who I listened to a lot, and yeah, man. Also, anybody who's curious, very cool human being. I know a lot of people don't like her because of whatever they don't like her tweets or whatever. Hey, No Name is so cool. I love
Yeah,
No Name, so shout out to her.
I like that album a lot. I mean, you don't even need to say she's rapping pretty crazy on that. And I'm trying to think. I mean, I like the guest verses too. From the Jay Electronica verse is pretty good. I mean, it's a little light for him. Not to say that I wanted him to go like
Yeah.
harder, like the fair.
you wanted more NOI bars.
But like I've heard better. But like Billy Woods was good. Silk Money.
Bro, does Silk? I've only heard Silk Money twice. Does he always rap like that?
How have you only heard Silk Money? How have you not listened to the Silk Money album?
Bro, I don't. I've had some people tell me to. I've just only heard him on this album. And what other feature was he on? He was on a pretty big. Oh no. He was on Pink Seafood and Fly Anakin had a album together, and he did a verse on there. Bro, that nigga sound like a black extremist Alex Jones every time he rap, and it's the hardest thing of all time. So I'm so sorry. Was he in Divine Council?
Yeah, he used to be in the
I gotta check him out. That's my fault. I'm gonna give him a listen, but he's hard.
That's crazy that you haven't. But yeah, the No Name album is really good. I feel like I liked it a little bit more in the moment than I do now. Not to say that. I guess that's a weird way of putting it. It's not an album I go back to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the albums that I would like, or the artists I would pick who I feel like define my year. And it's like artists I was just like, it's Tuesday morning. I'm throwing this on, and so I tend to gravitate toward music like that more.
Yeah.
But it is just like one of those things that you sit down and just throw on and listen to it straight through, and by the end you're like, damn, she has some shit to say, and that's not a feeling that you really come away with that often.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go into my first artist. Even since we were talking a little bit about like some like rod wave country rappers, this artist is not really like that, but it is like that southern like pain rap type thing, and it's Legend Ye from South Carolina, and I'm not sure if you like.
I've seen that name.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you like did like deep dive, but he dropped 3 albums this year. All the titles are like mad melodramatic.
This nigga, he actually got a song I like. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
I know him.
All the titles are magic. There's Drugs in the Mic 2, I Cry Alone, and The Industry Made Me Hate Music. And it's definitely like in that like no cap, like Rilo type lane. I want to say, even though it's probably more no cap than Rilo, where it's just like a lot of punchlines, and there's a lot of like fatalistic bars going on. I really like his voice. I think it just makes everything kind of like not that sad, even though it's sad.
Yeah.
And everything comes away kind of catchy. Of those 3 albums, I think Drugs in the Mic 2 and Industry Maybe Hate Music are like the 2 I would recommend. I Cry Alone's kind of whatever. Even though I love that title. I love like dramatic. I love that dramatic ass stuff like that. But yeah, I think he's just like a really cool, just like rap singer, and I always like that really like southern, those really like southern like bloodletter belters. And so yeah, if you get around to that, I feel like you might like it.
No, this song is gas. This song right here.
What's it called?
Trap House Love. Is it? I like that song. So yeah, I know exactly who. I follow him on Instagram. That's funny. I just like Legend. Yeah, I was like, oh, I follow this nigga. So yeah, I'm familiar with who Bruh is. So yeah, shout out to Bruh. He's alright. I like the Trap House Love song. Let me see. So somebody that you're going to. I'm I'm just gonna left field with you right here. This is somebody that you would have. If I gave you 100 guesses who this person would be, you would never guess it. So this is
So
somebody that I found out about on World Star Hip Hop in probably like 2011, and it was a.
King Combs.
You said who?
King Combs.
King Combs. Yeah, I found out about King Combs on World Star 2011. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nigga, no, that's funny. So it was a nigga who he was rapping. It was like a performance of him, live performance in the studio, him rapping a song. And I'm like, nigga, I clicked on it because I thought it was Chris Tucker. I'm like, but this look just like Chris Tucker. Was not Chris Tucker. The rapper was Don Tripp. So,
Oh, okay.
are you familiar with what Don Tripp's been doing this year?
Not this year. I mean, the Step Brothers series with him and
Starlito.
Starlito. I used to listen to that a lot, but I haven't listened to much Don Trip this year. What was it?
Don Tripp dropped 11 albums so far. The 12th one is on the way.
I had no idea.
He dropped 12 albums. He made a deal with Starlito. He said, if I drop 12 albums this year, you got to drop an album. So Starlito just dropped his past Friday.
Yeah, I was listening to the Starlito album as soon as it dropped. I had no idea that Don Trip.
That's why, hey, thank Don Tripp for that. That's why it's here, because of Don Tripp.
Your boy Charleston White was on the Starlito.
I don't know why that's my boy, first of all, but I did see Charleston White up there. I heard that. I heard it. It's a good album. Starlito was rapping on there, but so yes, with Don Tripp, bro. Don Tripp is a nigga who, bro, he love rap, bro. He love rap and he love his kids. I feel like his kids come first and then rap comes second. That nigga is such a good rapper, bro. And I don't even know what I would like recommend, because this, like I said, this nigga does have 11 albums out so far. It's so many. But I would say if anybody just wants a song to listen to and be like, let me see what this nigga on, I would say listen to Session Number 38. It's what it sounds like. It's basically like a therapy session, just him getting stuff off his chest, and how his like stepfather, you know what I'm saying? He said his stepfather used to sell like Stop the Violence t-shirts, and he got a bar where he was like, if you bought like one of them Stop the Violence t-shirts, like fuck you, because like I was the one who made it, and like he was like in a Chinese sweatshop making these shirts. Like, it's a crazy song. But yeah, he's on a run, man. Shout out to Don Tripp. What did he say? He said the judge caught his ass with a switch. His ass through. The judge finna hit it black ass with the switcheroo. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Don Tripp. He's good, man. I love Don Tripp.
Oh yeah, this is cool because Don Tripp has really had like those like therapy session feeling songs on lock for like over a decade. Like going back to like letter to my son.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when that had like the rap internet, like that had a hold of the rap internet.
That's when I figured about him. That's when I learned about him.
But even now, like that's like a thing that so many rappers. I mean, it goes back before Don Tripp, obviously, but like that's like whenever I hear like, especially like a Southern rapper going for that, I'm like, I always think of like Letter to My Son, you know.
So yeah, shout out to Don Tripp. That's my. Actually, we're saying our second pick. That's our third pick, because you know Zack Bryan's my first, whatever. So yeah, that's my third pick right there.
Yeah, to me, I'll go up to the DC area where like the DMV crank movement was definitely like some of like my most listened to rap this year. And I think I have like two artists I was trying to split between this, and it was KP Skywalker, who was making like these like kind of like romantic, kind of like soft, very sample heavy twists on the DMV crank style, and also Paco Panama,
fire,
who was like doing like these like it at first it sounds heavily like Los and Nutty stuff, but like the more I listen to it, the more I listen to like The Wire Volume 1, The Matrix. He had this collab album with another rapper from Area D Money, and it started to just sound like its own thing, you know, of like this like real just like dope selling, no limit type like energy in like this like DMV style, not afraid to use some soul samples. Real just like I feel like a lot of the DMV crank music is like really young. This feels like some like real like grown DMV music.
Like Los and Nutty, like that's like grown man music, yeah.
Nah, yeah, and I like that a lot about it. And his voice is just really deep. And so I've definitely played those two tapes, The Wire Volume 1
Mm.
and The Matrix, which is like, it's just mad long. It's like 28 songs or something like that. I was playing them a lot, and it was cool to see him just like get beyond, for me at least,
Yeah.
that Los Nutty comparison.
No, he's great. Shout out to Paco Panama. That's somebody that I discovered this year as well, and just on repeat all the albums. So yeah, I rock with Brett heavy. He's hard.
No, yeah, and there's so much music in the DC area, like, and a lot of it's in that like same style. I know you could bring it back, like the style that's been like evolving since the days of, you go back to like Fat Trell and Shy
Yeah.
Glizzy, you go back to Hugh the Fool, Big Flock, Gnu and Little Dude, RP Gnu, and it is really like still just like changing and morphing all the time. There's still like new generations coming and still like putting their like imprint on this sound. Even like lately I've listened to this rapper Have Emotion. I mentioned KP Skywalker, Smoke Chapo. Like this, just like it's just like one of those scenes that I'm just like really excited about going into next year.
Question: It's a nigga on KTT named Lonnie, and I think he's like an A&R for like Capitol Records or something. You know who that is?
I have no idea.
I don't know. You just seem like you would know this nigga because he be on all the new music, and he posted the Have Emotion nigga on KTT.
Really?
So I've seen that name. Haven't heard him yet.
I don't be on KTT.
But no. But this nigga's like a A&R, so you be knowing nigga. So I thought you might know this nigga, but you probably don't know this nigga.
Yeah, maybe if I saw him on like.
Let me see if you follow, bro. Yeah, you don't. I don't think you know, bro. You don't follow, bro. You probably don't know nigga. But either way, he like cause he the one put me on Lil Tony. Funny enough, so yeah,
Really?
yeah, so yeah, but no, them niggas out there, they are killing it. Shout out to El Custo too. El Custo's doing his
Oh,
thing.
true. Yeah, he's nice. I like that. What's that song? You and Me.
Mm-hmm.
That song goes crazy.
Shout out to the DMV movement. All right, so we got the DMV movement. Let's see, where should we take it? Let's take it back to the South a little bit, man. This guy also going to be here for that Skilla Baby concert. Hey, can I give you this lineup of people who's going to be here for the Skilla Baby concert? These are the concerts we have in Jacksonville. This is the ignorant lineups we have in Jacksonville. So it's Nardo Wick's birthday bash. So on the lineup is obviously Nardo Wick, Lil Papa, G Herbo, Lakia, Skilla Baby, Latyla, Wiz Havin, Webby, Trina, and Trick Daddy. It's a little bit for everybody right there.
That's a crazy lineup.
Crazy lineup. But I'm missing one person. That's the person that is on my list. So the person that's also in that lineup is somebody who I discovered earlier this year. And I'm going to say this as politically correct as I can. I said that this is almost, and this is a compliment, this is like you put a slow nigga in a booth and you just say, hey, bro, figure it out. You know what I'm talking about when I say that?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. It's like you put a slow nigga in the booth who's like, bro, I know you're a little slow, but figure it out. And this is what he came out with. Rob 49, bro, that nigga is amazing, bro. That nigga, the first time I heard him was a song he got with Real Boss Richie, where he was like, what did he say, man? He said you ran up on the nigga. He said, what did he say? He said, I ain't do that. Yes, you did. Bow. And I was like, when he acted out in the Triller, I was like, bro, this nigga is the hardest nigga that does not rhyme I've ever heard. He breaks every rule that every rapper should follow, and somehow it is still good. Like his Travis Scott verse is the best thing on that Travis Scott album. He didn't rhyme one time. Like, legitimately, he did not rhyme one time. And you know how niggas, they say it about him, they be like, oh yeah, Rob 49, they'll be rapping. He legitimately rhymed 0 times on his entire verse. And not only did he have a verse, Travis Scott came in, he came back and did another part and didn't rhyme on that either. It is some of the most craziest things you ever hear. And I wouldn't even expect him to do this, but I have to read off a little of his verse. That nigga said on his, that nigga said, he said, what did he say? He said, you know, I actually don't know where his, oh, here's this. He said, yeah, it's so hard that I'm a dog nigga. I make mistakes and I'ma show it. The way I shoot my Charlie's hoes, I don't fuck my shoulder up. Travis, what if they twins and they Siamese and they want to fuck us both? He could have clearly said, Fuck my shoulder up, fuck both of us. But no, he said fuck us both. Buy her what she want and suck her toes. I'm trying to make her come. Told her throw it back and put that coochie on me. None of that rhymed. None of that rhymed, and it was the hardest thing. So, yeah, he is possibly, and I don't care what anybody says, the same way that Billy Woods is unorthodox, Rob 49 is unorthodox. They don't follow rules that should be followed, and somehow it still works. So yes, shout out to Billy Woods, shout out Rob 49.
After that Utopia verse, remember you texted me instantly. You were like, "Have you heard this Rob 49 verse?" I mean, I like Rob 49 too. My problem with him is that the mixtapes aren't like, I don't know. I kind of want them to be better.
I respect that.
I feel like it's almost like one of those rappers where you're like, yo, like, how come just like when I hear you on a random song, you were like nice as fuck, but then I throw on your mixtape and it's like kind of like boring. And it's almost just like they're like kind of safe or kind of like too straightforward, and it feels like he's kind of a weird rapper, like you were saying, and I feel like the mixtapes don't do a good job of like showing that. And he's also a very cool rapper. Like even like when he was rapping with like V's and Tyler on that ATL freestyle. I mean V's and Tyler like two of the coolest rappers of the year, and Rob feels like the coolest rapper on that song. And I mean that shows you like what he can do, and I feel like I want to see that in like a mixtape format. I don't know if that's a dated wish, but that's what I would like.
You know he plays the drums as well?
Oh yeah, I saw that like there's like that Instagram or Twitter video of him like going in, right?
Love that guy, man. Hopefully, speak to existence. I can interview Rob for it on at that concert because boy oh boy, I got some questions for that guy right there. So yeah, that's my artist though.
Yeah. Next one I'll do. We were talking a little bit about him before. I mentioned Xavier So Based. He's from the Upper West Side of New York, and he's really just like an artist I've been following like for the past few years on SoundCloud. And I think it's pretty divisive music just because it could be like really like deep fried and kind of abrasive. But I think what I like about it is that, like we were talking about before, I think it's aware of a lot of like rap history and putting like weird and like unusual spins on a lot of stuff from like there's like the sound called like the jerk music where the drums are programmed somewhat like you would like expect like the like the you're a jerk like that late 2000s early 2010s California sound. There's a song from earlier this year called Steep One, I want to say, that has like the hand claps of like the New York Get Light music. Like I don't know how far that traveled outside of New York, but if you were in New York in like the mid 2000s, like that was like everywhere. You like just
chicken noodle soup.
Like that. Yeah, like that type of sound. And I mean, it's just like aware of a lot of stuff from like Keith to the Sweepers, who are big right now, and it's just like blending all these different things together into this big like abrasive stew. And I think it's just like cool to just like dive through his SoundCloud and like just pick out the things you like and don't like.
Yeah. And
when you end up liking something, you end up playing it over and over again. And I know before you mentioned that like that video of him like doing the cooking dance, and there was that white rapper on stage, Ned Spence, performing. And I know there, even last night in New York, actually, there was a show. I think it was headlined by his rapper Yapo, JJ, and Xavier So Based was on the bill. And it was like a free show at the Mercury Lounge, and there were so many kids there that ended up not letting anybody to the show, and the kids started like rioting. They were like breaking shit, like climbing. They were like climbing the building and stuff like that. And so I've definitely seen Xavier So Based perform like at least 2 or 3 times this year. I felt like he was doing a show like every week. So I definitely end up responding to rappers that I've like seen live, and especially seen live in like a very small, intimate setting. I tend to prefer shows like that, and so yeah, he's definitely like a rapper that I spent a lot of time with this year.
How old is he?
I think he's 20 or 21.
Bro, I said that nigga like 15. I thought that nigga. You sure? I thought he was like a teenager.
I want to say 20.
So he's not a teenager.
Nah, he's not. He's not a teenager anymore.
I thought he was like 15, 14 years old.
He does look like it. I guess it's like the clean shave.
Yeah. No, shout out to bro. He cool a nigga. Like I from what I've seen, and I haven't seen a lot. That's my opinion. Like he a cool nigga. Like I need to listen to him some more though, cause like when I see him doing the cooking dance, I was like, bro, this is like phenomenal cooking. Like I haven't seen cooking this like well since like 2013. This is amazing. Yeah. So
people be butchering the cooking dance.
Man, he did not at all. That's why I was so impressed. I was like, bro, how does this 14-year-old know how to cook so well? Like, what is going on? So it makes sense that he's like 2021. But I have to listen to some more of him. You send me some stuff. So after we're done with this, send me some Xavier So Based. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Send me some more, bro. All right, let's go. Let's get in my white bag real quick, man. We started off with Zack. Man, this I won't spoil it, but I would say this entity is very high on my albums of the year list. And this is somebody who's been around since the 2000s. My first time hearing them. Sorry, I'm a nigga from Florida. Did not listen to them growing up. But this album is so good. Have you heard the Paramore album this year?
No, I've not.
I should have gave you that. That's chef's kiss right there, man. Paramore, dog. Literally, that's my number one listen to album this year. I haven't listened to any more albums.
I was never a Paramore person. I know, like, I didn't have my Paramore phase. I feel like everybody.
Yeah. See, I didn't. Yeah.
What year was that? Like 2010 or some shit like that. But I have no nostalgia for Paramore like everybody else in Hayley Williams.
Me neither. Like I guess black people like Hayley Williams. Is that a thing? From what I'm learning.
Like you got those like little Uzi videos of him like singing Paramore.
Yeah. Boy, I had no clue. I seen a video of her singing like with a black choir. I'm like, I didn't know black people liked her this much. But that album, bro, it is so good, so catchy. When I'm talking about melodies, those are by far my favorite melodies of the year. Thick Skull, which is the closer, that I've never wanted to flick a lighter, put it in the air, and sing a song from the bottom of my heart so bad. That's like the epitome of lighter in the air, singing it. It is such a good song. It's sad. I'm like, bro, I want to cry like a teenage girl singing this song. Like, this is so freaking good. So, yeah, man, Paramore, that's my number one freaking artist of the year. Spoiler alert. Love them. They're great. Didn't know. Sorry.
You're kind of bugging with that, but no.
Hey, to be fair, you ain't hear the album. You ain't hear the album.
Yeah, I know. I can't judge this guy. I haven't heard it, but Paramore is crazy.
No, is this like when I had Weekend as number one last year for you?
Yeah.
No. So have you heard Paramore? You just don't like Paramore?
It's not that I don't like them. It just doesn't do anything for me.
It moved me.
Like even like when they were like really popping.
Yeah.
It was never like I was like, oh, I'm mad Paramore is on. It was just like, oh, this is fine.
Great album.
I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah. Who is your next person on the list?
Yeah, we'll be at number 5, I think.
We're at number 5.
And yeah, mine's gonna be Terza.
Okay. Haven't heard this.
She's like it's kind of hard to like put into it's like R&B electronic music. It's definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. She put out this album called Trip 9 Love. I think the crazy thing about it is it's produced by Michael Levi, who's done like some like really cool like who's worked on like most of her previous albums.
Yeah,
and also done like some like cool like movie soundtracks and shit. But the whole thing has like the same like drum pattern throughout the whole album, and her voice is like this real like droning, sad, like melodies, and it is so like hypnotic and so easy to like listen to the whole thing front to back that I feel like I was just like listening to that over and over and over. It's like some real like. I'm not in like a broken heart stage, but like if you were like going through it, it was like some real shit to throw on and be like, I'm trying to like get high and go to a different planet type thing. But even without that, it was just like music I was like throwing on over and over again, and I feel like it's one of my favorite albums of the year.
Definitely, this is the first artist I can't give well, not a comeback, but just like any response to because I don't know who this is. So you definitely got to send me some of her music. That sounds interesting.
No, yeah, she put out this album, I'll say 5 years ago called Devotion. And when I first heard that, I was like, damn, this is like, her voice is just so absorbing. And I guess you would call it like some sort of like electro pop or whatever. Even though I was calling it like R&B before. But yeah, it's just an album that like, if you listen to it, it just like really just like brings you in, and it's like a real just like slow build.
Okay. Terza?
Yeah.
Alright. Definitely will give that a listen. I guess it's only right for me to give somebody, I'm pretty sure you don't know who this is. A New York artist, actually. A guy named Jeff Rosenstock. Jeff Rosenstock.
I know who Jeff Rosenstock is.
My fault. That nigga say I'm cultured, nigga. I know who Jeff Rosenstock is.
Do you know where I am employed?
That's hilarious. Good point. That's a very, very good point. Very good point, sir. Yeah, man. Jeff Rosenstock is somebody I found about, I would say probably 2020, and I can confidently say I've heard every Jeff Rosenstock song. Jeff Rosenstock has 0 bad songs. Jeff Rosenstock is somebody who is great to me. Literally never put out a bad project. Put out a project this year called Hell Mode, and yeah, man, it's pop punk. It's what you want from like just pop punk, catchy melodies, angst, great guitar freaking riffing. It's good stuff. So yeah, man, Jeff Rosenstock is definitely one of my artists. Every year he drops, he's going to be on a list because guy's great, man. Love Jeff.
Yeah, as much as I've like seen people that I'm like write about it, I've never really like listened to it heavily.
How do you feel about like punk?
Like, are we talking like pop punk, like which era or sound are we talking about?
Let's go pop punk. How do you feel about pop punk?
I feel like I'm like open to it. I feel like there's like things that like I've liked before in the past. Even like I know every kid has had like their phase in middle school where they were like really like into that or something like that. I've definitely had that too. I mean, lately, I mean, when I think of it, I think of like whether it's bad or not. I think of like Tizo Touchdown or something like that. I think of almost like that, like
that nigga gonna stab you with a nail.
I'm not even like trying to like shit on the album constantly or anything, but it's just like what I think about it. Yeah. Like some like Olivia Rodrigo type vibe, and neither of that is for me. I know there's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But definitely like what I think of.
You know, before we go on, I want to give a quick shout because you said Tizo Touchdown to somebody we both know, Sachi. I don't know if you know this or not. Sachi was in a recent Anthony Edwards commercial.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He helped make it, and he was in it, so that was really cool. So shout out to Sachi, man. What a character he is, man. Shout out to him, man. I don't know if this is the best time for Anthony Edwards right now, but you know, cool commercial, man. You see what's going on with him?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Shout out to him, man. I keep seeing the tweet I keep seeing the texts where she's like saying something to him. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Send a video." What are you talking about? Send a video.
Yeah, when she sent the baby picture.
Yeah, he's like, "Send a video." She said that, and it was like an AI baby. First of all, sending an AI baby picture is kind of hilarious to somebody. Like, what if we just kept the baby? You send an AI baby picture, send a video. But yeah, it's my fault. Freaking a shot to Jeff Rosenstock. I think that's my 5th guy. Who's your guy?
Next, I'm gonna go an artist that you have had on this platform.
Okay.
Is Nion. And
we can cross him off my list. He's on my list as well.
He's on your list as well. And I mean, we were talking about Florida rap earlier, and it's just kind of cool to just see like he's from Kissimmee. That's the way you pronounce it, right?
I thought he was from Orlando. He's from Kissimmee. That's what he said. Gotcha.
No, yeah, he's from Kissimmee. And it's just cool to hear like that Central Florida, just like swag, just like mixed with so much other things that has like that Detroit, Milwaukee, like Midwest feel, has like that influence from like that New York mic orbit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like a huge, just like melting pot of a bunch of different things, and I don't think there's like of the 2 EPs I want to say he dropped this year. I more gravitate toward like individual songs in them. Just like I think Out Loud is my favorite song of the year. There were a couple ones on the new EP produced by 454, who I know you have had. I think you've had like some mixed feelings on. But there's like some beats on there that I like.
I do want to clarify. Amazing producer. Yeah. Amazing producer. He is an amazing producer. Do you want to clarify that? Amazing
producer. He's a producer. And even like that opening verse on Real Hip Hop, which I think like is like the verse that put me like over the top on Nion this year, where it's like this real like slurred, almost just like kind of like whispery verse. And I mean, I think the entire Posse Cut, which has Acousto and Mike and Earl Sweatshirt on it, is a good song. But it's that verse that I always run it back and rewind it just for that same verse. So yeah, it's just like,
you want a what for the what? For sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all.
I love that like conversational shit. Yeah.
So we had this, not a debate, but you're saying you think he's slurring it up on purpose?
I feel you. Okay, yeah, we were talking about that. If how like intentional is like is he bringing in all these styles and like that slurred, almost like we talked about how somebody like Kodak or so whatever would like use that cadence too. And I think there's intentionality to it, like of where he's not just in the verse, he's not just in the booth like mad high, just like but I think there's like, oh, I'm like going for something.
It's kind of a crazy question to ask a nigga, but I kind of want to FaceTime him right now and ask him. I've never just called this nigga out the blue, but should I FaceTime him right now?
If you want to.
That's kind of crazy. Hey, are you just high as hell, or you just naturally slur? I don't know how to ask that question, but because the way I look at that is like this. So, Nayante is from Florida. Florida people sometimes can have like that slur or that the way they talk or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's that verse right there. It's certain parts I don't know what he's saying. He's saying something. It's one part. Do you know everything he's saying in that verse?
Definitely not.
It's one part I don't know what he's saying. He's like something. He's saying something, but I love that song and I love his verse, but I don't know how intentional that is. Like, you think niggas going in the booth and like, do you think it's like intentional, like this is artistic or something? Like, you think that's what they're going for?
That's the way I think of it. Even though like
I'm a FaceTime.
When I interviewed him earlier this year, he said that none of that is like intentional.
Oh, so he said. So I don't gotta call him. So he said that.
Yeah. He was saying that, but I'm somebody that like, even when artists tell me stuff, I never like. I still not to say I don't believe. Okay, I don't always believe everything that like artists tell me in an interview, even if they're saying it, because there's a lot of like mystique building, and you know. And so I think all of it is too spot on to just be completely just like improvised. But
I'm gonna FaceTime this nigga. I'm not gonna lie. I'm FaceTime. I'm gonna see. I've never did this as FaceTime. Let's see if this nigga pick up. It's hilarious. be funny if you pick up like, what the fuck you want, nigga? I'll just be I've never did this. Okay. Nigga to pick up the phone. If he call back, call back. But either way, so yeah, to kind of touch on, I guess I might as well do Niantic. So Niantic, I agree with everything you said. First thing I heard was also Thank Allah, crazy song. 454 is lacing with crazy beats. 454 is also going to be in Jacksonville for New Year's Eve. He's like DJing at this my friend's party. So
really, you gonna pull up?
I was thinking about it. Somebody was like, you should interview him. I was like, yeah. But shout out to him. But freaking, you know, a song's been in my head by Niantic.
What?
Ride With Me. That's the second song off of Demon Might Be. I'm in love with that song. Baby, take that ride with me. Come take this road with me. Take that ride with me. I love that song. He say this flight don't leave at 9:50. It's only 5:50. I love that right there. That's that font right there. So yeah, shout out to Niantic for surety. So yeah, like I said, we can cross it off my list. So I guess I can almost like double up if we want to do it like that. Man. Let's keep it with the white artist, man. I've done 2 in the row. Let's keep it all with the white artist. The Alchemist, bro. The Alchemist, I think, has had. I don't like the way you're looking. I don't know what that means. I don't know what those eyes mean. We're gonna stop that right now. The Alchemist has had a great year. First of all, I'm gonna start off with just one of my favorite songs of the year, which was "Bless." That's Mike and Sideshow. I love that song. Sideshow had a crazy verse. Mike did his thing.
That's a great song.
Gosh, man. Sideshow said, Cupid don't shoot arrows. She shoot 223s. He was talking on that. What else, man? I mean, just from, like I said, him putting out albums. I will say, have not heard the Larry June album. I've never heard a Larry June album in my life. So there's that. That's the only thing that I have not heard. But everything else, I mean, from Faith is a Rock, that is a really good album. I think Wiki really like took advantage of that opportunity. Wiki was rapping crazy on this entire album. Mayor's a Cop. Mayor's a Cop. You know what I'm saying? Wiki did crazy on that. Mike also did his thing. Vor Dyer was a good album. And yeah, man, freaking, and then of course we're gonna end it off with Flying High Part 2, where Alchemist is rapping. I am an Alchemist rap stan, and he went in on every single song. Freaking Vertigo, oh my gosh, that is a great song. Him and Action Bronson, I love me some Action Bronson. Thug Bitches with Peyton Manning jerseys, just a great song, man. Just a great album, and yeah, man, Alchemist, he does it again for me.
Yeah, I want to retract a statement I made earlier.
Okay.
Little Yachty had the best PR of the year. It's actually The Alchemist.
I don't like the way this is going, but I'm gonna let you keep going. I don't like this stuff, but keep going.
To me, both the beats on Faith is a Rock, which has good rapping, and the Earl shit, which also has good rapping. The beats are so mechanical and so like lifeless. It's so like somebody that has like he like makes these beats in his sleep, and you can like feel it. There's no like soul to them, even if it's a soul sample. There's no soul to them. And I don't like either those albums. I like Mayor's a Cop just because I am always pro and Eric Adams this, but both of those albums have absolutely no life to me. Blessed is a fire song. I saw Sideshow earlier this year, like just rapping live, and I always thought Sideshow was cool, but I saw him like just like run through like his catalog, and I was like, this dude is so well. So I really do like that song, but for the most part, I feel like the Alchemist beats this year have been so like dry and lifeless, and I feel like he's no longer like molding his beats to fit specific rappers. Even if you go back to the beats he gave Prodigy, or even the beats he's given Boldy James in recent years, I feel like they're like made. They're almost made specifically for him. Versus like these beats just feel like Alchemist just had like a stash of beats just hanging around. It was like, here, just rap. Take something, and it just like This feels like such like, and I get why people do it. It almost seems like I don't want to be too cynical about it and be like, you know, it's a move to sell a bunch of vinyls or something like that. But but yeah, the Alchemist piece. Like,
Did you not hear the beat he gave Hit Boy?
I don't think I heard that one actually.
Gosh, man. Boy, that was a beat right there. Did you hear his EP where he was rapping?
You wanted me to listen to Hit Boy rapping. I feel offended.
Didn't say that. Did I say that? I said, did you hear the beat specifically? Did I hear the beat he gave Hit Boy? Did you hear his EP where he was rapping though? Flying High Part 2?
I heard some of the song. I saw like he like dropped like a video with him rapping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't move me.
Oh my gosh, man.
Do you really want to hear Alchemist rapping?
Yes.
I get it's a cool like novelty. It's a cool like 1-2 time thing. But like
Alchemist can rap, bro. Yeah, I like Alchemist rapping, but
I don't know, man.
He's such a hater, man. He's such a hater, man.
The PR firm has gotten to you.
No, I've been
and I admit it, Alchemist is like, we look at the full body of like work. He's a great producer. He's produced like,
I think he's the greatest ever. I think he's the greatest ever.
Come on, man.
Who's better? Yes.
Bro,
there's arguments to be made for sure, but I think he's better.
I mean, like DJ Premier, Kanye, like you just keep going.
But okay, I don't even know if Kanye could be at the best ever though. Kanye could be best ever though.
I mean, he's better. I didn't say he's better than the Alchemist.
Oh my god, bro! Let's think about how long the Alchemist has been doing it, and still.
I'll take the Swedish dudes who produced the Ken Carson album over.
You're nasty. This is nasty.
I mean, Mike Will Made is better.
This is crazy. You're talking about people I love too. Because think about it, bro. Think about how long he's been doing it, and he's still getting better, in my opinion.
He is not get bro. Even like the beats he made in like 2001,
yeah.
he hasn't made better beats than like We Gonna Make It or Hold You Down or something like that.
Really, bro? Those are iconic beats. But you're saying he don't have any beats? Even like you can go with something off of the Elephant Man album with him and Rock Marciano.
I like that album. I don't think it's like his best work, but I like that album.
Crazy, man. Super Tecmo Bowl, the beats on there. I love Super Tecmo Bowl. That's.
I mean, I like him generally with Boldy. I think how like almost like spare his beats have gotten over time works with like Boldy, who has really this like slow flow and just like this voice that almost feels like it just like it could like shake up a room because it's so deep.
In my opinion, I don't think there's any producer that's. I would put somebody like DJ Muggs up there. There's a few, but there's not too many producers from that era who still.
Is this your greatest white producer list of all time, or is this like are we talking about actual like producer list?
I'm talking about people from that era still producing at a high level today. There's not too many, bro. At a high level.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes you the greatest producer. You could say has great longevity,
but I think he's still getting better, bro. He's not like
Joe Johnson played 20 years in the NBA. He's not the greatest basketball player of all time.
Comparing Alchemist to Joe Johnson is nuts, man. That's crazy.
That's a good comparison.
That's not a good comparison. Wait, so is Alchemist top 5?
He wouldn't be in my top 10 though.
What is happening right now, bro? Crazy, man. Alchemist.
You could go back, bro. I could take. Or you could just keep adding producers from every era.
For sure. And I'm not saying there's not an argument to be made. Because you can say, somebody can say Dilla is the best of all time. Even though very short run, somebody can say Dilla's the best of all time. Somebody can say a lot of people are best of all time. But I think the fact that he's been he has so much longevity, consistency, and I think he's getting better, man. But We're always gonna have haters, detractors. You know what I'm saying, man? You need an Alphonse in your life, man. You need somebody that's gonna throw a hurdle in your way. You know what I'm saying? We need people like you, man. So, Alchemist, if you ever see this, man, I need your next album to be some of your best work, so I can send it to this young man and be like, you know what, you're wrong. So, here we go, man.
Okay. After that, I guess it's kind of weird to just like jump from like this after like being like, oh, this is
oh
like...
my gosh, what are you about to say, man? Who are you about to say?
But I'm a big like I was talking to you before about like why I liked Sexy Reds. I do like music that is like popular and a lot of other people know, and I do find like some like joy being able to like turn on the radio when like Funk Flex is dropping bombs or whatever. And so I'm gonna put 41, who is like a New York drill collective, with Kyle Rich, Jen Carter, and Tata. I feel like they've just had like from the song Bent, which is produced by Newark Jersey club producer MC Vert, to songs like Deuce and Fetty, and this is one song that Jen Carter has called Jen Jen Jen, where she like samples the voice of like some dude, some other drill guy, like putting up like Instagram live and dissing her, and she takes that like diss and like flips it into like a Jersey fucking club drill song. And their songs are just like on the radio all the time, and every time you hear their songs come on the radio, especially Bent, it just sounds so much different than anything else you will hear, and it's so striking, and I find that shit interesting. And like we were talking about before, I like this wave of just like drill music that is like still drill music, but also park music, and for that reason, and I don't know if you've seen their On the Radar freestyles. I don't know your opinion on the Radar, or if you like.
Yeah, no, they have some good freestyles on it for sure.
Yeah, if you like watch the shit they put out, but I think 41 actually had the most viewed episode of On the Radar all time.
More than Drake.
Yeah, more than Drake. Their first On the Radar freestyle is like more than Drake, Ice Spice, whatever. And they put out their second one this year, and it is so fire. The beats are like, so kind of like glitchy and fast. It almost remind me of like some like Chicago like footwork type shit. And I just think it's like real good like popular rap and like what drill can look like as like popular music. It did put out a mixtape this year, which I don't think is like that great, but like the singles themselves are just like they're like hard.
Once again, another collective. I have no clue who they are, so I can't comment. But I'm interested. I'm interested in fast beats and stuff because I mean you gotta think about it. I'm from Florida. We speed everything up, so I like fast stuff. I like things that get you going.
What's the best fast song you heard this year?
Rich Facts Sped Up. That's a Real Boss Richie song.
Oh, okay.
Rich Facts Fast. It will probably make you crash your car.
I haven't heard that fast one too. Actually, I've been listening to. I don't want to skip you, so I don't want to say this, but nah. I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna do two in a row.
All right, go for it.
I've been listening to mad like fast remixes of like the Philly drill music, like the OT7 Kwani and Lil Bucks. And OT7 Kwani was actually the artist I was going to put here just because I might even put him on like last year or whatever. But his like version of like this like Philly punchline rap over these like Armageddon beats, is so wild, and like there's basically a whole Philly scene that's like emerging in that style, like Skrilla and all these other types of rappers, even in New York and places like DC, Baltimore. You can see the influence like really stretching out. But yeah, I've been listening to like fast versions of like Kwani and Lil Buck songs like non-stop, just on like random, just like challenged out. that don't even feel like they're real people behind them, just like speeding up. Like it'll be like fast remix 22366.
Yeah.
I'm like who's even making this? It's probably just like some like 13-year-old from like.
See, I can't do that though. I need my fast music done by specific DJs. I need it to be done by like DJ Frisco, DJ Fetty Fee, 954 fast. Like I need to be specifically because they do it at a certain tempo that I like, which is a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a reason why I be critiquing what's the name 454 because the way his music is sped up sometimes, it's like. It's not the way they do it in Florida. My brain is like cognitively just like it's like a cognitive dissonance listening to it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the Lil Buck stuff is sped up by a channel that says at least on this channel that it's located in Broward County.
Got you.
So it is like, but they're like these channels that seem to be listening to a lot of like music from like Philly and Detroit and just speeding that up like it's Florida music, and the Philly stuff just because of how like operatic all of it is. It just sounds like different. So like, and even like Kwani, we were talking about rappers before who do different things. Like he has like, guy has like 10 songs in like 3 years for some reason. But even like, so a lot of it I listen to is like snippets and stuff like that. But there's like songs where it's like, some of them are love songs and some of them are like harder or tougher or softer, while still sounding like the world's ending. And so, yeah.
There's no way you didn't have like a 3.9 GPA or something. They could just be dropping the biggest words of all time. Apparatic? What does that mean? The heck is that?
I was talking about like songs that sound like like the opera.
Oh, operatic. Ah, got you. See, nigga be dropping them real journalist words on me, man. Okay. Operatic. I do know who OT7 Kwani is, so I can comment on him. He's good. He's good for sure. He's definitely a good rapper. One of my favorite songs is actually a song he has with Leaf Ward called
Power.
Not Power is Midnight Club. That song is crazy, man. I love the way they're going back and forth. What did Leaf Ward say? He said we know who gonna die next. We making side bets. Like Philly have the most like final boss type music. Like I listen to A.R.A.B. Like that nigga, that seemed like the final nigga you gotta like meet. Like him and darklo. Like that nigga A.R.A.B. said he make niggas whole blocks disappear in a song. I was like, gosh, what that nigga like they'll say something that's not even that violent and it just sound aggressive. That nigga darklo said, when Fredo died, that shit made me hate lean. I just imagine that nigga spiked a pint of lean.
That's that battle rap background.
yeah, it's what it sounds like. So shout out to Darklo and them niggas. Shout out to OT7 Kwani. He's definitely a good artist for sure. Like I said, freaking Midnight Club is probably like I do my I know you're a sicko, and this nigga I'm gonna tell this nigga Alphonse I sent like a Apple Music link. He was like, yeah, I don't even use Spotify like that, I use SoundCloud. I was like, bro, this nigga's a nutcase, bro. So with regular people, nigga, when you do like the little Apple Music like thing, they tell you like your top 100 songs played, that might be like top 25 for me. Midnight Club, that song is crazy. So okay, I guess I'll go back-to-back artists with you. Let me see who we got. Okay, I'll go Mike. Mike for sure is a person who's kind of ran 2023 for me, and that album that he dropped, it's been like it gets better with time for me. It's so good. It's so many songs, but it's so many different sounds. It sounds so like heavily, like it sounds like he really took his time with that, like just certain like man, he did his thing though. I would say that's some of his best producing. Like I forget sometimes that he produced these beats. I'm like, bro, this nigga's a really great producer. I would say that album is some of his best producing. Then you got something like Muscle Beach, which is a little different than you'll ever hear on like some of his albums. I do want to hear Mike over some more beats like that. I know he has music with Popstar Benny. You know Popstar Benny?
Yeah.
Definitely want to hear more stuff with that, just because I just want to hear him get out of his comfort zone.
That ATL freestyle that they did it like a year or two ago.
Yeah, with him and Nion. Yeah, that's hard. So yeah, shout out to that. So yeah, I would just say not too much to say. I love Mike. Mike's my guy. So
it's almost hard to find like new words to say about it, just because it's like not to say it's the same thing all the time, but it's like it's just very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely like the beats on this one that like stood out. I know some of my favorite should be and like what's that one? Set the Mood.
Set the mood. Oh my god, I set the mood, and then like he speeds it up the end. I set the mood. Oh my gosh, that beat is crazy, man. But yeah, man, shout out to my guy Mike for sure. And then I guess my second artist, I'll go with the guy who I kind of threw you off with last year. You were like, wait, this people still listen to this nigga, and they do, man. Rob Banks. Rob Banks has once again, hey, on a personal level, I'm not gonna lie, I interviewed Rob Banks this year, but that was like a bucket list one for me. Like Rob Banks is like, that was like, bro, I think I've said it before, Rob Banks I think he's the greatest lyricist to ever come out of Florida. I think he's one of the best lyricists ever from the South. I love Rob.
That's crazier than my like Ken Carson future statement.
It's not, right? It's not. It's not. Who's a better lyricist than Rob Banks from Florida?
From Florida, I'm trying to think. Plies.
I'm not mad at that.
Plies way funnier.
I'm not even mad at that because Plies is great. But nah, Rob Banks, bro. I think Rob Banks down there. Nah, you could say this crazy. I think he could argue that he top 10 ever from the South on the lyrical level.
From the South?
From the South.
Bro.
On a lyrical level, like who just rap. I'm not talking about just music. I'm talking about just nigga who will rap. I think he could say he top 10.
That shit. That's just like nonsense. Like I don't know what we even talking about.
I'm telling you, I think he might be like 10. You know what I'm saying? He might be 10.
I was listening to what was it the other day? I was listening to the mixtape he put out with Tony Snow, which I thought was cool. And I went back and listened to The City, I think, and I was like, I like it also, but like he's not really saying shit.
Oh my god, bro! You have to stop, bro.
The South includes Atlanta.
Yes. Yes.
Does the South in your book include Texas?
Yes, I'm putting Texas in that too.
Bro, come on. You could name 10. You could name 10 better lyricists in Texas. Scarface, bro.
I'm putting Scarface over him. Yeah, I put Scarface over him. I put Scarface over him. Yeah, that's really about it. I would say it. Maybe Chameleonaire. Maybe Chameleonaire could make an argument. Maybe Chameleonaire. That's about it, though. That's about it, man.
Scarface. You could say Future. You could say like.
On a rapping level, I think he rap better than Future though. Music, I think Future's a better artist. But on just a pure rapping level, just telling you, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Rob Banks, man. Rob Banks is somebody who you say he wasn't rapping on The City.
You could pick 10 better like lyricists. You just combine No Limit, Cash Money, Wayne.
Well, yeah, of course Wayne. Of course Wayne up there.
Master P. Even Master P could tell stories.
I'm not putting Master P. I'm not. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. It's not a single person that was ever signed to No Limit from the South that's rapping better than Rob Banks. Stop it, bro.
Bro, there's so many like
nigga finna say what is Silk the Shock?
He said out of Smiles and South Star.
Nigga trolling. Bro, The City, I can't believe, bro. On the City, that might be some of his best rapping ever.
I mean, Juvenile.
I love Juvie, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't mad at that. It's all a preference thing, but bro, he up there, bro.
That's crazy.
I'll bring it down. Top 15.
I don't even think Shaggy would agree.
Shout out to Shags, man. Shout out to Shaggy, man. But nah, this year, Rob Banks really, I feel like, put his foot on people's neck.
I do like the song produced by Sango that you sent me.
That's that fire. Hey, Sango's really good. Sango's a really good producer.
Yeah, Sango's been
yes.
For a minute.
For anybody that's watching, I'll wrap my Rob Banks Love Fest up. If you want to hear a good Rob Banks song in 2023, listen to Boss Do. It's off of his mixtape that he put out, and it's produced by Sango. It's a very, very, very good beat and very, very good song.
Yeah. Okay, my ninth pick is just, it's not as much an artist, it's just Milwaukee rap in general. And so under that umbrella is just like several artists on my like rap album list. I had rappers like Mari Boy Mulamar, who dropped like this like Valentine's Day like album. It's just like it's an album called Biddy Breaker, and it's just him just like telling a girl how much he loves her for like 8 songs straight over like these like really like pre like clap heavy Milwaukee beats. Like, it's just him like just simping out, telling the girl he's like, so man, I'm gonna pay your car note. He's like, I want to pay for your BBL. I want to, you know, like all the romantic shit. And then several other rappers like Simi Tax Free have like 2, 3, 4 albums from this year that are all like consistent. This rapper Die Ballin, have several of his tapes that I've just like played over. This one song, Miss You, that I love. And yeah, I think it's just like a really cool scene that has like a lot of history to it, and I feel like it's like I actually got to go there this year and like write like a story and spend some time there, and I think it's just a lot of, like the most exciting music, especially like underground rap music is happening there.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the Milwaukee music, and it's a lot of like twerking type music. It's very interesting. The beats.
Oh yeah, it's mad like twerk beats and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't get into it. It's just something don't click for me.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair. I think a lot of people feel like that too. I feel like it's pretty polarizing.
Yeah.
Where people either seem to be like, yo, this shit is sick, or this shit like, what even the fuck is this? And I mean, I tend to like things like that too. That seem to like be kind of abrasive or throw people off. Not because of that music, because of like. I like the really simple, just like couple of claps that maybe were like some like Soulja Boy on like freaking Fruity Loops or GarageBand or something like that. Like these beats that sound like they were made in 5 minutes, or even vocals that are like not mixed super well. But yeah, there's a lot of like this is rapper Maya P, who's just like she has this one video of like, you know, like one of those videos where the mic is hanging down that everybody loves, and they usually like rap in front of the whole thing. She like, this is one called Outside, and she pretty much like ignores the mic the whole entire time. Instead of rapping, she's just dancing the whole time, just hitting moves. And I'm like this is like what Milwaukee rap about. It's like all like energy and shit like that. So I really like respond to that.
Well, you said you like something that's like you like certain things that like a lot of people may not like. This person here, a lot of people do like, and a lot of people that don't like him, but he's very popular. I actually want to see if you can guess the person by his description. Had a very rough 2022, but this year they clocked in at an 11 at my favorite album of the year. But it's a rapper. But if we're just clocking rap albums, it's my 4th favorite rap album of 2023. And like I said, this person has a very, 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 very huge song, like very huge song right now at the current moment. And
is it Jack Harlow?
It is exactly Jack Man. Jack Man is my 4th favorite rap album of the year. I know a lot of people might hear that and be like, "This is blasphemy, Eric," but I'm completely finna come out the Jack Harlow closet. I'm a Jack Harlow fan. I like Jack Harlow. I like what he does. And yeah, I love that album. And Jack Harlow, I've listened to that album so many times. It's one of my most listened to albums of the year. So yeah, man, shout out to Jack Man and shout out to Jack Harlow.
I respect you for really riding for the white rip heads. Alchemist, Muggs, you know, Harlow. You Harlow like really bared his soul on this album, so I respect it.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. I'm happy it resonated with you and you really like related to, you know, like
gay.
his boy that got canceled. You know, you were like, damn man, that's some real shit right there, bro.
R. Marcus? Not R. Marcus. That's such a funny song. Out of all the songs, that is the song that he probably should have kept off. Other than that, that's a flawless. I love that album, bro. I love that album, bro.
I like how you stopped yourself before you said flawless. You were like, wait.
Well, gang, you know what I'm saying? Gang. But no, bro, those beats are really good beats, though. Can we acknowledge that? Really good production. No, you don't like production?
They're cool. I'm not like in love with them or anything.
Yeah.
I think they're fine. It's a nice. It's a little early in his career for like the I'm a Serious Rapper album. I feel like that usually happens like, at like 3. He's like 26, making the like.
But that's him though. You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to like the previous, if you look at like the albums before he blew up, he's rapping.
Like, yeah, he is. What's that one album that has that? I'm trying to think of that. It's the album before like the album that he blew up from.
You're not talking about the one with the kids? That one he's in the car signing autographs?
Yeah, I think it's the one in the car.
Yeah, I thought that was a solid debut album. It wasn't perfect or great. I was like, oh, this is a solid debut.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I know he could rap a little bit. I even kind of like the.
That's what they all say. That's what it's called. That's what they all say.
I even like the kind of like the hit song out right now with that R&B sample on it.
Skilla Baby shout out.
Yeah, that's kind of cool to have a Skilla Baby shout out on like a big ass song like that.
You seen that the Lions halftime show on Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah, the free shirt.
Yeah, shout out. But
so, he's trying. But
what's your thoughts on Harlow?
I think he's a fine like hit maker. I think like I mean first class, that one's terrible. But I like when Jack Harlow has a hit song and I'm out and I hear it, I'm never mad at it. It is like a like good like C+ Drake song sometimes. But he's kind of inoffensive in a way, and so even like when you hate on it too much, it's like you're almost going too hard because it's just like, are you really going that hard, Jack Harlow? What has he actually? Is the music really that bad? It's really not that bad to like deserve that type of hate. But yeah, that's what I think of him as, like a solid like pop rap hit maker.
I will I could tell like he really wants to rap. Like I could tell he really like he's not in it to be a pop. Like I could tell he wants to like be known as like the broker rap. Because one thing I will critique him on is the song "It Can't Be." It can't be my skin, and it's almost like he was like oblivious to the fact that like, hey, you are white and that does help you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing or whatever. But it's like him saying like, you know, like it can't be my skin, like in a sarcastic way or whatever. Which is like, I mean, it does help you. It does help out. But it's funny because like I don't think he wants to be that like pop rapper. I'm not saying like he doesn't want to be popular, but I like just that song. It can't be like he's saying like, nah, like I'm fire. You know what I'm saying? Like he really wants to be that. So I hope that he can achieve that one day. I you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jack Harlow.
I mean, I don't see that in his future. He could try. And you know what should disqualify him from this list? Not, even though it's your personal list, I know. But like, White Man Can't Jump.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
You just pretending that didn't happen.
Well, no, I didn't. I actually heard mixed reviews. I will say that. I just didn't give it a chance.
You heard some positive ones?
I heard people was like, Vince Staples was really funny. I seen that.
Alright, so my last.
He's so funny, man.
My last pick is probably my favorite rapper of the year. He was even the number one album on my album like rap album list. Is V's.
V's?
Yeah, V's.
Cross out. Same person.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've like Ganger is just like there's just so many like quotable, memorable bars in that album. And they just like keep coming and is non-stop. And even like when like he veers into like inaudible territory, like eventually like the lines become like clear and then you're like, shit, that's hard too. And yeah, man, it's just like this is definitely like one of my most played like albums of the year in general. And it's kind of like almost like amazing that it even happened just because I felt like in the years since like Navy Wavy,
Mm-hmm.
there's been like so many just like leaks and snippets, like little features, and the album almost like built up in my head to the point where I was like, oh, it probably won't live up to what I think it would be, and I think it did live up to that. And I think it's still great. I think there are still like bars, different wordplay and jokes and whatever that I'm still catching now.
No Sirski is crazy. That's like No Sirski is like a legit display of like good rapping. Like there's so many bars on No Sirski.
I mean, bro, there's so many bars on the whole album. He's like, he was like on Tramp Stamp. He was like, "I'm the first nigga from my hood with jet lag."
That was crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy bar. On No Sirski, he said he put a what did he say? He said he put a brick of gray through the mail. Let's address the elephant. That's a crazy bar. Like he was really wilding on that. So I mean, and I've talked about V's to a crazy extent. So I don't even have to. I could just say I agree with everything you're saying and co-sign it. So yeah, V's definitely he exceeded expectations. Like I said, and it's hard because he hasn't put out an album in so long, and it's kind of like, yeah, my expectations might be too high, but I feel like he met them. The only thing I will say is that it is sometimes like, man, I really do miss sometimes like when he rap more clear. That's the only thing I will say. Because on Navy Wavy, I understand everything he's saying off first listen. Certain times on What's the Name, you have to be like, huh, what do you say? What do you say?
I kind of like how off the walls and like slurred everything is here.
This nigga don't want to hear the lyrics, so you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes just about like the vibe, you know.
But V's type of nigga, like he barring you out, like he trying to put. So I want to hear what V's got to say because, like, you know what I'm saying. I can see if it's a nigga like Ken Carson, I don't think he's trying to super, you know what I'm saying. But V's trying to throw a bunch. But hey man, this is and that was our list. This might be the longest video of all time. I have to figure out what to do with this. But before we get out of here and I figure that out, any last words for the people, man?
Nah, yeah. I mean, I'm just like happy to be able to just like chop it up with you at the end of the year. I hope this is something that we keep doing. And I hope we even like get to do something like this more often throughout the year, just to like do like little check-ins of like what's happening. Maybe something like big album comes out. Oh, Cardi dropped it. So yeah, no, thank you for like having me on this. You know?
For sure, man. Hopefully, hey man, how about we fly out to Utah and go to Gravedigger Mountain, man? You know what I'm saying, man? Do our own interview. Let's end it with that. How would you conduct a young boy interview? Let's end it with that.
Like what setting would I want it to be in, or how?
But no, just like because it's gonna be in Gravedigger Mountain. It's gonna be in Utah. It's gonna be out there. So that's gonna be the setting. So how would you approach it though, as an interviewer? Like, from how have you seen people been interviewing him? You seen the one clip was going viral where he thought, like, so you've seen people make mistakes, seen people do a good job. How would you go into it? Like, would you know what I'm saying? Like, would you go in there asking him about, like, what would you go ask him about? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you approach this?
I mean, I think I would approach it with just like, it's hard because of how like confined you are.
Yeah.
I guess it would just be like talking to him or people around him to figure out what he likes to do. Maybe he likes to freaking snowmobile or something to like break the ice. I don't know what he'd be doing, riding horses, whatever he'd be doing up there. I don't know. But also probably just like trying to find something that he's into to talk about, whether it's like, yo, you want to talk about like old little fat mixtapes or I don't know, like just something to like kind of like get his guard down a little bit, which I don't think it will ever be down, which is, I mean, part of like what fascinates people about him, I guess. But just trying to like find a way to like convince him that I am like aware of his music or aware of who he is, to the point that he will like trust me to talk to him, because that almost feels like his hesitancy with. I remember he did that, like the complex we're talking about. Not that he didn't know who the guy was.
He didn't. He didn't.
I find that, bro, that guy's on like mad YouTube shit.
Well, you know, they did a video before. You remember? He was like, hey man, we did a sneaker shop video together. He was like, my memory bad. I don't remember you. You know what I'm saying? But I welcome you to my house. So he didn't know who that nigga was.
But really, there might be no way. I don't even know if there's a way in, man.
I gotta. Has anybody ever asked him about that? Like, hey man, you know, Lil Fat mixtapes or Lil Boosie mixtapes or what? Like, has anybody ever did that in an interview? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you grew up listening to that. Like, anybody ever did that?
Who to him? Or?
Yeah, to him. Like, has anybody ever went up to him and like talked to him about that type of stuff?
I'm sure people have tried. I guess that's an assumption, but I've never seen it. People are always so like captivated by his story that they're like they want to like get into his head, you know.
I'll end it with this, man. I think I'd have the best NBA YoungBoy interview ever. Maybe I got too much dip on my chip, and that nigga tell me like get the kicking, get the stepping. But I really do think, because I've never seen anybody that was black around his age from the South interview him.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone. There has to be something on YouTube, but I can't remember.
He got interviewed by DJ Small Eyes, Complex, Billboard. You know what I'm saying? I done seen he did an interview with like a young black girl, and he was like trying to flirt with her a little bit. He felt comfortable, you know what I'm saying? He trying to flirt. That's about it though, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many white people gonna talk to this man, bro? That's how I look at it, bro. Like, how many white people gonna talk to this man? I feel like he probably like, you know what I'm saying? How many white people this nigga grew up with, bro? This nigga from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, bro. That nigga probably met his first white person at like 15. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I mean, you probably have a better shot just because you guys can chop it up about some Southern type shit. I don't know what
I'm about to say, I hate the way, like, we finna talk about eating raccoons or some shit. Hey, on that note, man, I feel like that perfectly encompasses the hater energy this nigga has brought today, man. You know what I'm saying, man? This nigga here, cannot believe the words he said about my guy Alchemist. But with that said, I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play, and you guys, holler at your boy.